In this video, there are 100 lessons with various daily life conversations.
After taking this class, this will greatly strengthen our English speaking and listening skills.
Practice makes perfect. Let's start. Lesson 1, Catching Up.
Morning, Anna, how have you been?
Hey John, not bad, just keeping busy. How about you?
Same here, life's been a bit hectic lately.
I hear you. It's hard to find a moment to catch your breath sometimes.
Tell me about it. But it's good to see you today.
It is. I feel like it's been too long since we last hung out.
Agreed. We should really make more of an effort to get together.
Definitely. We need to schedule something soon.
Definitely. I'm free this weekend if you're up for it.
That works for me. We can figure out the details later.
Sounds good. I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. It'll be nice to have some time to relax and catch up.
Absolutely. I could use a little break from the craziness.
Same here. This weekend is going to be just what we need.
I can't wait. It's going to be great.
Lesson 2, Boating Safety.
Hey Anna, I'm planning a day out on the boat this weekend. Are you interested in joining?
That sounds lovely. But I have to ask, do you always wear a life jacket when you go out on the boat?
Of course. I never go out without one. Safety is my top priority.
That's great to hear. I think it's so important to be responsible when it comes to boating.
Definitely. I always wear a life jacket, and I make sure everyone else on board does too.
That's really smart. It's better to be safe than sorry, especially on the water.
Exactly. I'd never want to take any unnecessary risks. A life jacket is a must.
I admire your commitment to safety. It's a good example for others to follow.
Thanks. I just want to make sure everyone has a fun and worry-free time on the boat.
And that's exactly the right attitude to have. I'd be happy to join you this weekend.
Wonderful. I'll make sure to have an extra life jacket ready for you.
Sounds perfect. I can't wait to spend the day out on the water with you. Lesson 3, Hotel Booking.
Hey Anna, I'm trying to book a hotel for my upcoming trip, but I'm not sure how to go about it.
Okay, let me see if I can help. What kind of details do you need?
Well, the cost seems to depend on the duration and the room type. Can you provide more information?
Sure, let me ask a few more questions to get a better idea of what you're looking for.
All right, go ahead.
How long will you be staying, and do you have a preference on the room size or amenities?
I'll be there for 3 nights, and I'd like a comfortable room with at least a queen-sized bed.
Okay, got it. And do you have a budget in mind for the nightly rate?
Ideally, I'd like to keep it under $150 per night if possible.
With those parameters, let me see what I can find for you.
That would be great. I really appreciate you helping me out with this.
No problem at all. I'll do some research and get back to you with a few options that fit your needs.
Awesome, thanks so much Anna. I'm looking forward to hearing what you come up with.
Absolutely. I'll be in touch soon with some hotel recommendations for your trip. Lesson 4, Forgetful Grandfather.
Hey Anna, my grandfather has been forgetting things a lot lately. It worries me.
Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. Memory issues can be tough for the whole family.
Yeah, my mother tells me I need to be patient with him. But it's hard sometimes.
I can imagine. Caring for someone with memory problems requires a lot of understanding.
Exactly. I try my best to help him remember things, but it's not always easy.
Maybe you could try making notes or leaving reminders around the house for him.
That's a great idea. I'll give that a try. Anything to make things a bit easier.
I'm sure he appreciates all the effort you're putting in. Patience and support mean a lot.
You're right. I'll keep that in mind and do my best to be there for him.
I'm glad I could offer a suggestion. Let me know if there's anything else I can do to help.
Thanks. I'll keep you posted on how things go with my grandfather.
Of course, I'm happy to lend an ear whenever you need it.
I really appreciate that. It's nice to have someone I can talk to about this.
Anytime. That's what friends are for.
Absolutely. I'm glad we're friends.
Lesson 5, Family Traditions.
Hey Anna, do you have any special family traditions?
Not really. Unfortunately, we don't have any specific traditions in my family.
Oh, that's too bad. My family has a few, like our annual holiday gatherings.
That sounds really nice. I've always wanted to be part of a family with special traditions.
Well, maybe you could start some new ones with your own family someday.
That's a great idea. I could incorporate some traditions from my childhood, too.
Exactly. It's a great way to bring people together and create lasting memories.
I love that. I'll have to give it some thought and see what kind of traditions I could start.
I'm sure whatever you come up with will be meaningful and special.
Thank you. I appreciate you sharing a bit about your family's traditions.
Anytime. I'm happy to talk about them. Let me know if you ever want to brainstorm ideas.
I'll definitely keep that in mind. It would be fun to bounce ideas off you.
Sounds good. I'm looking forward to hearing about any traditions you decide to start.
Me too. It'll be a fun project to work on.
Absolutely. Just let me know how it goes.
Lesson 6, Uncovering Religious Persecution.
Hey Anna, have you ever noticed how people sometimes can't recognize religious persecution when they see it?
That's an interesting point. Can you tell me more about what you mean?
Well, think about how in the past, people were sometimes burned as heretics or drowned as witches just for their religious beliefs.
Ah, yes, that's a dark chapter in history. It's tragic how people's religious differences were used to justify such horrific acts of persecution.
Exactly. And the worst part is, many of those people at the time probably thought they were doing the right thing, protecting their faith.
That's a really good observation. It just goes to show how easily people can become blind to the injustice happening right in front of them when it's cloaked in the guise of religious righteousness.
Absolutely. It's a sobering reminder that we have to stay vigilant and really examine our own biases, even when it comes to deeply held beliefs.
Well said. It's crucial that we learn from the past and make sure we don't repeat those same mistakes of failing to recognize religious persecution, no matter how it may be justified.
Definitely. We have to keep an open mind and a compassionate heart, even towards beliefs that may differ from our own.
Completely agree. Thanks for this thought-provoking discussion. It's an important topic that's worth reflecting on.
Anytime. I'm glad we could explore this issue together and shed some light on a complex but vital subject.
Lesson 7, Finding Peace in the Unknown.
Hey Anna, I was taking a walk earlier and noticed something interesting.
Oh. What did you notice?
Well, I was walking down the road, and suddenly it seemed to level out in front of me. So I decided to turn the corner and go back home.
That's curious. What made you decide to turn around instead of continuing forward?
I'm not sure, really. There was just something about that leveled out road that made me uneasy. I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but it felt like the right choice to head back.
I see. Sometimes I think we get these intuitions that are hard to explain, but we just have to trust them, you know?
Definitely. There's a lot of wisdom in learning to be comfortable with the unknown and following our instincts, even when we can't rationally justify them.
Absolutely. Life is full of mystery and uncertainty, and I think the ability to navigate that with grace is so important.
Well said. It's a balance, isn't it? Staying grounded and present, but also being open to the unexpected.
Exactly. Finding that balance between control and surrender, logic and intuition, it's an ongoing journey, but so rewarding.
Couldn't agree more. Thanks for chatting about this with me. It's good to reflect on these kinds of things.
My pleasure. These conversations are always thought-provoking and help me gain new perspectives. Lesson 8: Navigating Additional Costs.
Hey Anna, I had a question for you about something that came up recently.
Sure, what is it?
Well, I was looking into booking a trip, and I noticed some additional charges that weren't clear up front. Do you know anything about that?
Yes, that can be a tricky situation. Additional fees and charges are something a lot of companies don't always make super transparent.
Exactly. It's so frustrating when you think you have the full picture on the cost, and then there are all these extra fees at the end.
I know, it's the worst. Have you tried reaching out to the company to get more clarity on those additional charges?
I did, but the response wasn't super helpful. They just kind of brushed it off and said it was standard practice.
That's not very satisfactory. I wonder if there are ways to push back on that or at least get a more detailed explanation.
That's a good point. I should probably dig a little deeper and see if I can get them to provide more transparency up front.
Definitely. It's always worth asking follow-up questions and not just accepting vague or unsatisfactory answers.
Absolutely. Thanks for the advice. I'll be sure to keep pressing them on those additional costs.
Of course, happy to help. Let me know if you need any other tips on navigating those kinds of tricky situations. Lesson 9: Celebrating Team Progress.
Hey Anna, I wanted to share some exciting news with you.
Oh, what is it? I'm all ears.
Well, our team just hit a major milestone on the project we've been working on. I'm really proud of the progress we've made.
That's fantastic. Congratulations to you and your team. What kind of milestone did you reach?
We just completed a critical phase of development ahead of schedule, which is a big deal. It's going to set us up really well for the next steps.
Wow, that's impressive. Getting ahead of schedule on a big project like that is no easy feat. You must be thrilled.
Absolutely. The whole team has been working so hard, and it's great to see that effort paying off. I'm really excited about what's to come.
That's wonderful to hear. It must feel so rewarding to see your team's hard work translate into tangible progress.
Definitely. There's a real sense of momentum and enthusiasm right now. I'm proud of what we've accomplished so far.
That's fantastic. It's always so motivating when you can celebrate those kinds of wins. I'm happy for you and your team.
Thanks. I appreciate you letting me share this with you. It's been a great experience so far.
Anytime. I'm glad I could be here to celebrate this milestone with you. Here's to many more successes. Lesson 10: Embracing Nature and Activity.
Hey Anna, I wanted to ask you about something I've been thinking about lately.
Sure, what's on your mind?
Well, I've been trying to find a better balance between being active and enjoying nature. Do you have any tips?
That's a great goal. Finding that balance is so important for our overall well-being.
Exactly. I feel like I've been spending too much time indoors, but when I do get outside, I'm not always as active as I'd like to be.
I understand that struggle. It can be challenging to find the right mix, but it's so worth the effort.
Any advice on how to strike that balance? I want to make sure I'm getting enough physical activity, but also taking the time to appreciate the natural world.
Well, one thing that's worked for me is planning outdoor activities that incorporate movement, like hiking or bike rides. That way, you get the best of both worlds.
That's a great idea. And I suppose being intentional about spending time in nature, even if it's just a short walk, can make a difference too.
Absolutely. Even small pockets of time spent outdoors can have a big impact. The key is making it a priority.
You're right. I need to stop seeing it as an either slash or and find ways to weave them together more seamlessly.
Exactly. With a little creativity, you can absolutely find ways to stay active while also connecting with nature. It's so good for the mind and body.
I appreciate you sharing these tips. I'm excited to put them into practice and see how it impacts my overall well-being.
I'm glad I could help. Let me know how it goes. I'd love to hear about your progress. Lesson 11, Podcast Recommendations.
Hey Anna, have you listened to any good podcasts lately? I'm looking for something new to try.
Hello John, actually yes. I just discovered this really interesting podcast about the history of technology. It's called Tech Rewind, and it's really informative.
Tech Rewind, huh? That sounds right up my alley. What's it all about?
It covers the evolution of different technologies, from the early days of computers to the latest innovations. The hosts do a great job of making it engaging and easy to understand.
That does sound fascinating. I'll have to check it out. Do you have any other podcast recommendations for me?
Let me think. Oh, there's also a really popular one called The Curious Cases of Rutherford and Fry. It's all about answering questions from listeners using science.
Ooh, that sounds right up my alley too. I love learning about science in an accessible way. Thanks for the great recommendations. I'll definitely give those a listen.
I'm glad I could help. Let me know what you think of the podcasts once you've had a chance to check them out.
Will do. I appreciate you taking the time to share these with me. It's always nice to discover new shows to dive into.
Absolutely, I'm happy to help. Exploring new podcasts is one of my favorite things. Enjoy.
Thanks, I'm sure I will. Catch you later.
Lesson 12, Finding Your Way at the Airport.
Morning. I've got a trip coming up and I could use your advice on navigating the airport.
Good morning. Airports can be a bit overwhelming, but I'm happy to share some tips to help you get through it smoothly.
That would be great. I'm not the most seasoned traveler, so any pointers would be appreciated.
Okay, well, the first thing I'd recommend is to arrive at the airport with plenty of time to spare. Give yourself at least 2 hours before your flight.
2 hours? That seems like a lot. Is it really necessary to get there that early?
Yes, it's important to allow enough time, especially with security these days. You don't want to feel rushed or stressed.
All right, good to know. What about once I'm actually in the airport? How do I find my way around?
Just follow the signs. They'll direct you to the check-in counters, security, your gate, and other important areas. And if you get lost, don't hesitate to ask for help.
Got it, follow the signs. And I should look for the immigration counter as well, right?
Exactly, the immigration and customs counters will be clearly marked. Just follow the signs and you'll be on your way.
Awesome, that's really helpful. I feel more prepared already. Thanks for the tips.
You're welcome. Wishing you a smooth and stress-free airport experience for your upcoming trip. Lesson 13, Finding the Perfect Hotel Location.
Hey Anna, I'm planning a trip and trying to find the ideal hotel location. Any tips?
Hello, John. That's a great question. When it comes to hotel location, it really depends on what's important to you.
Well, I'd like to be close to the main attractions so I can explore the city easily.
That makes sense. Being near the top sites and landmarks will definitely make your trip more convenient.
Exactly, I don't want to waste time traveling back and forth. What else should I consider?
Good point. You'll also want to think about proximity to public transportation, like the subway or bus routes. That can really help with getting around.
Ah, yes, public transport is key. I don't want to rely too much on taxis or rideshares.
Absolutely. And if there are any specific neighborhoods or districts you want to be close to, that's worth considering as well.
Good idea. I'll have to look into the different areas of the city and see which ones might be the best fit.
Definitely do some research on that. The location you choose can really make or break your experience.
Noted. I appreciate all the helpful suggestions. This gives me a lot to think about as I book my hotel.
Happy to help. Let me know if you have any other questions as you're planning your trip. Lesson 14, Comparing Hotel Providers.
Hey Anna, I'm looking into hotels for my upcoming trip. Do you have any thoughts on the different providers?
Good question. There are quite a few options out there these days. What are you looking for in a hotel provider?
Well, I want to make sure I get a good deal, but quality is also important. Any providers you'd recommend?
Let me think. Have you looked into Expedia or Hotels.com? They often have competitive prices and a wide selection of hotels.
Ah, yes, I've heard good things about those. Any other providers that might be worth considering?
Definitely check out Booking.com as well. They tend to have a really user-friendly platform and reliable reviews.
Booking.com, got it. And what about something like Airbnb? Do you think that could be a good option?
Airbnb can be a great alternative, especially if you're looking for a more unique or local experience. Just make sure to read the reviews carefully.
That's a good point. I'll have to weigh the pros and cons of hotels versus Airbnb. Any other tips for comparing providers?
You could also look into loyalty programs. Some hotel chains have their own reward systems that can provide benefits.
Ah, yes, that's a good idea. I'll have to see which providers offer the best loyalty perks.
Exactly. Just do your research and compare the options to find the best fit for your needs and budget.
Awesome, this has been really helpful. I feel much more equipped to start my hotel search now.
I'm glad I could provide some useful insights. Let me know if you have any other questions as you're booking your trip.
Will do, thanks again. Catch you later.
Lesson 15, Embracing Cultural Differences.
Hey Anna, I wanted to talk to you about something I've been thinking about for my upcoming trip.
Sure, what's on your mind?
Well, I'm a bit nervous about experiencing a new culture and being respectful of the local customs.
That's understandable. Embracing cultural differences can be both exciting and challenging at times.
Exactly. I don't want to inadvertently offend anyone or come across as disrespectful.
I hear you. The best approach is to keep an open mind and be willing to learn about the local traditions and etiquette.
That makes sense. Any specific tips you can share for navigating cultural differences?
Well, one important thing is to be observant and pay attention to how the locals interact and behave. That can give you a good sense of what's expected.
Good point. And should I research the customs beforehand, or just go with the flow?
I'd recommend doing a bit of research beforehand, just to get a basic understanding. But also be prepared to adapt and learn as you go.
Okay, that sounds like a good balance. I don't want to come across as too rigid or uninformed.
Exactly. The key is to approach it with humility and a genuine interest in learning about the local culture.
I like that perspective. It's about being open-minded and respectful, rather than judgmental.
Precisely. If you keep that mindset, you're much more likely to have an enriching and meaningful cultural experience.
I appreciate you taking the time to share this advice. It's really helpful as I prepare for my trip.
I'm glad I could provide some useful insights. Wishing you an amazing cultural immersion on your travels. Lesson 16, A Captivating Literary Conversation.
Morning, Anna. Have you heard about the latest romance novel craze sweeping North America?
Fascinating. I've been meaning to explore that genre more. What do you know about the current trends?
Well, it seems the most popular books for women these days are romance novels. The plot lines are often timeless, but still resonate strongly with modern readers.
That's interesting. I wonder what it is about romance novels that makes them so appealing, even in today's world.
From what I understand, the enduring appeal lies in the escapism they provide. Readers can immerse themselves in captivating love stories and forget their everyday worries for a while.
Ah yes, the power of a good, dramatic love story. It's no wonder they remain so popular. Do you have any favorite romance authors or titles you'd recommend?
Let me think. I've heard a lot of positive buzz around the latest works by authors like Nora Roberts and Danielle Steele. Their novels seem to really strike a chord with readers.
Ooh, I'll have to check those out. Thanks for the recommendations. This has been a fascinating conversation about the current state of the romance novel genre.
Absolutely, I'm glad I could provide some insight. Literature trends are always evolving, but a well-crafted love story seems to be a timeless draw.
Definitely. There's just something about losing yourself in a romantic tale that never gets old. I appreciate you sharing your knowledge on this topic.
My pleasure. I always enjoy our literary discussions. Shall we explore another genre next time?
Sounds like a plan. I'm looking forward to our next bookish conversation. Lesson 17, Countryside Explorations.
Hey Anna, what do you think about taking a day trip to explore the countryside?
Absolutely. That sounds like a wonderful idea. I've been wanting to get out of the city and soak in some nature.
Fantastic. I was thinking we could pack a picnic and find a nice quiet spot to relax and take in the scenery.
Ooh, a picnic in the countryside? That's right up my alley. We can discover some hidden gems and really immerse ourselves in the beauty of the landscape.
Exactly. I know the perfect little town just a short drive away that has some gorgeous countryside views. We can wander through the quaint streets, maybe stop at a local cafe.
That sounds idyllic. I'm already picturing the rolling hills, the wildflowers, and the peaceful atmosphere. It'll be such a refreshing change of pace.
Definitely. Sometimes we get so caught up in the hustle and bustle of city life, we forget to slow down and appreciate the simple pleasures nature has to offer.
Couldn't agree more. This countryside adventure is exactly what I need. When can we plan to go? I'm ready to escape the urban grind.
How about this weekend? I can make all the arrangements and we can set off on our little rural retreat.
Sounds perfect. I'll clear my schedule and can't wait to explore the beauty of the countryside with you.
Excellent, it's a plan then. This is going to be a wonderful getaway. I'm really looking forward to it.
Lesson 18, Affordable Accommodations.
Hey Anna, I was thinking about our countryside trip this weekend. Have you given any thought to where we might stay?
You know, I haven't actually looked into accommodations yet. But finding an affordable option is definitely a priority for me.
Understandable. I understand it's always good to find budget-friendly choices, especially for a longer trip like this.
Exactly. Any recommendations on some nice, yet cost-effective places to stay in the area?
Well, I've done a bit of research, and there are a few quaint bed and breakfasts that seemed quite reasonably priced.
Ooh, a cozy bed and breakfast would be perfect. That way we can really immerse ourselves in the local charm.
Absolutely. I was thinking we could look for one that offers complimentary breakfast too, to help stretch our budget.
That's a great idea. Saving money on meals is key when planning a trip. I'm all for an affordable but charming bed and breakfast.
Wonderful. I'll dig a little deeper and send you some options I've found that fit the bill. We can compare and book something soon.
Sounds good to me. I really appreciate you taking the time to research accommodations that work with our budget. It makes planning this trip so much easier.
Not a problem at all. I'm happy to handle the logistics so we can just focus on enjoying our countryside adventure.
You're the best. I can't wait to get out of the city and unwind in a quaint little bed and breakfast. This is going to be amazing.
I have a good feeling about it too. This weekend getaway is just what we need. I'll send over those hotel options shortly.
Lesson 19, Keeping Cool.
Morning. I wanted to check in about our countryside trip this weekend.
Oh, good morning, John. I'm so excited for it. Did you happen to come across any updates I should know about?
Well, there is one small issue I wanted to bring to your attention. It seems the air conditioner at the bed and breakfast is currently out of order.
Oh dear, that's not ideal. With the summer heat, an AC unit is pretty important, especially for a countryside retreat.
Exactly. I wanted to make sure that wouldn't be a deal breaker for you before we finalize the booking.
That's a good point to consider. No AC could make for an uncomfortable stay, even in a charming B&B.
Right. I know keeping cool is important, especially when we'll be spending a lot of time outdoors on our trip.
You make a fair point. Maybe we should explore some other options that can guarantee climate-controlled accommodations.
I think that's wise. Let me take another look and see what else is available in the area that has functioning air conditioning.
Wonderful. I appreciate you being proactive about this. Comfort is key for an enjoyable getaway.
Absolutely. I want us both to be able to fully relax and soak in the countryside without any issues. Give me a bit to research some alternatives.
Sounds good. Just let me know what you find. I'm happy to be flexible as long as we find a suitable place to stay.
Will do. I'll be in touch shortly with some updated accommodation options for our trip.
Lesson 20, A Spotless Retreat.
Morning. I think I found the perfect countryside retreat for our trip this weekend.
That's great news. What did you end up finding that will work for us?
Well, I came across a lovely little inn that not only has fully functioning air conditioning, but also seems immaculately kept.
Ooh, an impeccably maintained inn. That sounds ideal. And the AC is definitely a must-have.
Exactly. I took a closer look at the reviews, and guests have been raving about how clean and well cared for the entire property is.
That's music to my ears. Cleanliness is so important, especially when you're getting away from the city.
I agree. This inn seems to go above and beyond to ensure every corner, even the hard-to-reach ones, are spotless.
Wonderful. And once we're done exploring the countryside, we can simply relax and enjoy the comforts of a pristine retreat.
Precisely. I think we'll be able to truly unwind and recharge in this accommodating and well-maintained inn.
I'm sold. This sounds like the perfect place for our countryside getaway. When can we book it?
I went ahead and secured the reservation already. We're all set to head out there this weekend.
Fantastic. I can't wait. This is going to be such a refreshing trip, thanks to your diligent research.
My pleasure. I'm excited for us to experience the beauty of the countryside in comfort and style.
Me too. This is going to be a weekend to remember. I appreciate you putting in the effort to find the ideal accommodation.
Anytime. I'm glad we were able to find the perfect spot. Now let's get ready to enjoy our countryside retreat.
Lesson 21, Hotel Reservations.
Hey Anna, I'm planning a trip next month and I need to book a hotel. Can you help me with that?
Sure. What dates are you thinking of traveling?
I'll be going from the 15th to the 20th of June.
Okay, let me check some options for you. What's your budget and what kind of amenities are you looking for in a hotel?
I'd like to keep it around $150 per night if possible. And I'd like a hotel with a pool, gym, and free breakfast.
Let me see what I can find. There's a really nice 4-star hotel downtown that fits your criteria. The nightly rate is $149 and it has great reviews.
That sounds perfect. Can you go ahead and book that for me?
Absolutely, I'll take care of it right now. Just send me your credit card details and I'll get it all squared away.
Great, I really appreciate your help with this. I'm glad we could find a good hotel that works with my budget.
No problem at all. I'm happy I could assist you in planning your trip. Just let me know if you need anything else.
Will do, thanks again Anna.
Lesson 22, Inauguration Ceremony.
Morning Anna, did you catch the president's inauguration ceremony on TV yesterday?
Yes, I did. It was a really historic moment. The new president gave a powerful speech about unity and healing.
I agree, the themes of the speech really resonated with me. Even though the years and changes, the core values remain the same.
Absolutely. It's amazing to see the peaceful transition of power, no matter how much the country may have changed.
That's a great point. The inauguration ceremony is a reminder that our democratic institutions endure, even as leaders come and go.
Definitely. And the presence of past presidents, both Democrat and Republican, symbolizes that unity as well.
Absolutely. It was nice to see them all there, honoring the peaceful transfer of power.
Yes, it was a moving sight. The inauguration is a reminder of the strength and resilience of our democracy.
Well said. I'm glad I was able to watch it and reflect on the significance of the occasion.
Me too. It's an important moment in our nation's history that we should all take the time to appreciate.
Agreed. Thanks for chatting with me about it.
Lesson 23, Mourning and Consolation.
Hey Anna, I wanted to talk to you about something that's been on my mind.
Of course. What's going on?
I heard about the passing of the former First Lady. It's such a tragic loss.
Oh, I hadn't heard. That's so sad to hear. She was such an inspiring figure.
Absolutely. I can only imagine how the current First family must be feeling right now.
Yes, it must be an incredibly difficult time for them. Losing a child is unimaginable.
I agree. In moments like these, I think the nation also feels a sense of collective mourning.
That's true. The First family's grief becomes our own, in a way. We all seek to offer our condolences.
Exactly. And yet, there's also a spirit of resilience and strength that we can draw from.
Yes, exactly. Even in the darkest of times, there is often a glimmer of hope and consolation.
Well said. I'm grateful we can come together as a community to support one another.
Me too. In the end, that's what truly matters, being there for each other.
Couldn't agree more. Thank you for this thoughtful conversation.
Lesson 24, Organizing Community Services.
Hey Anna, I was reading about the former president's legacy the other day. Did you know he helped organize a hospital and a fire department in his hometown?
Wow, I didn't know that. That's really impressive. Community service was clearly a big priority for him.
Absolutely. He understood the importance of building strong local institutions and infrastructure.
That's a great point. Overseeing the postal service was another way he contributed to the community.
Yes, exactly. He took a hands-on approach to improving the lives of regular citizens.
It's inspiring to see a leader so committed to the practical needs of the people they serve.
I agree. Too often, politicians can get caught up in the big, flashy projects. But the nitty-gritty work of building community institutions is just as vital.
Definitely. Those small-scale, boots-on-the-ground efforts often have the biggest impact on people's daily lives.
Absolutely. It's a good reminder that true leadership isn't just about grand speeches and photo ops.
Well said. It's the quiet, unglamorous work that often makes the most difference.
Exactly. I have a newfound appreciation for that kind of community-focused leadership.
Me too. It's an important legacy that I hope future leaders will continue to build upon. Lesson 25, From Tragedy to Triumph.
Hey Anna, I was reading the other day about how the former president overcame a lot of personal tragedy early in life.
Oh, really? I didn't know much about his backstory. What happened?
Well, he lost his father at a young age and had to help support his family. It must have been a very difficult time.
Wow, that's remarkable. To then go on and achieve so much, despite those early hardships, is truly inspiring.
Absolutely. He didn't let his circumstances define him. Instead, he channeled that adversity into motivation.
That's a great point. Overcoming such challenges with resilience and determination is truly admirable.
Exactly. And it's a testament to the power of the human spirit to rise above even the most daunting of circumstances.
I agree. His story shows that with hard work and perseverance, one can transform tragedy into triumph.
Well said. It's a powerful reminder that our past doesn't have to dictate our future.
Definitely. His life is a shining example of how an individual can overcome adversity and make a lasting, positive impact.
Absolutely. It's an inspiring story that I think can resonate with people from all walks of life.
I couldn't agree more. Stories like this remind us of the incredible potential within each and every one of us.
Exactly. Thank you for this thoughtful discussion. It's been a pleasure chatting with you.
Lesson 26, Exploring the Origins of English.
Hey Anna, did you know that the English language has been influenced by many other languages throughout history?
That's really interesting. I didn't realize that. Can you tell me more about it?
Absolutely. For example, a lot of the vocabulary in English comes from Latin and Greek.
Wow, that's fascinating. I always wondered why some English words sound so similar to Latin and Greek.
Exactly. The most distinguished of my predecessors opened his first speech with a quotation from the great Czech philosopher, Jan Hus.
I see, so the English language has been shaped by influences from all over Europe. That's really cool to learn about.
Absolutely. And it's not just Latin and Greek, other languages have contributed to English as well.
I'd love to hear more about that. What other languages have influenced English?
Well, for instance, words like kindergarten and angst come from German. And karaoke is a Japanese loanword.
Fascinating. I had no idea English pulled from so many different language sources. It really is a global language.
Definitely. The diversity of English is part of what makes it such a rich and expressive language.
I agree. Learning about the origins of English words is a great way to better understand the language. Thanks for sharing this with me.
My pleasure. I'm always happy to discuss the fascinating history and evolution of the English language.
Lesson 27, Small Talk about Language Contributions.
Good morning. Did you know that Latin and Greek have contributed a large number of words to many other languages?
That's fascinating. I didn't realize the extent of their influence on other languages. Can you tell me more about that?
Absolutely. Many scientific and technical terms in English, for example, come from Latin and Greek roots. Words like biology, telephone, and television all have their origins in those ancient languages.
Wow, I never thought about that. It makes sense that fields like science and technology would borrow a lot of vocabulary from the classical languages.
Exactly. And it's not just English, many other modern languages have incorporated Latin and Greek words as well. Even languages as different as Russian and Arabic have been influenced by those linguistic roots.
That's really fascinating. I wonder what other languages have made significant contributions to the global vocabulary over the centuries.
Well, you raise a good point. While Latin and Greek have been hugely influential, other languages have also left their mark. For instance, words like algebra and zero come from Arabic.
Interesting. I can see how the spread of knowledge and ideas throughout history would lead to this cross-pollination of languages. It's amazing how interconnected it all is.
Definitely. Language is such a rich and complex thing, shaped by centuries of cultural exchange and intellectual development. There's always more to learn about its evolution.
Absolutely. This has been a really enlightening conversation. I feel like I have a much better appreciation for the linguistic diversity that underlies so much of our vocabulary.
I'm glad I could share some insights. Language is endlessly fascinating to me, and I always enjoy discussing its intricacies. There's always more to discover.
Lesson 28, Overcoming Adversity.
Hey Anna, did you hear about that remarkable man who started from nothing and built an incredible career?
No, I don't think I've heard that story. Please tell me more.
Well, from what I understand, he came from a very poor family. From a young age, he had to work 14 hours a day just to get by.
Goodness, that must have been incredibly difficult. How did he manage to overcome those kinds of challenges?
By all accounts, he was an incredibly determined and hard-working individual. Despite the long hours and meager circumstances, he never lost sight of his ambitions.
That's really inspiring. So many people in that kind of situation might have given up or resigned themselves to that life. What did he go on to achieve?
Well, through sheer grit and perseverance, he was eventually able to get an education and build a successful career. He ended up becoming a highly respected leader in his field.
Wow, that's an amazing transformation. It just goes to show what someone can accomplish when they refuse to be defined by their circumstances.
Absolutely. His story is a real testament to the power of determination and resilience in the face of adversity. It's the kind of inspiring tale that reminds us all to never underestimate our own potential.
I agree. Hearing about people who overcome such steep odds is really motivating. It makes me want to push myself even harder to achieve my own goals.
That's exactly the kind of reaction his story should inspire. If he could do it, coming from such humble beginnings, then the possibilities are endless for those of us with the drive to succeed.
Well said. This has been a really uplifting conversation. It's amazing how much we can learn from the experiences of others.
Definitely. I'm glad I could share this inspiring story with you. It's the kind of thing that reminds us all to never give up, no matter the challenges we face.
Lesson 29, Handling Unexpected Situations.
Oh no! I just spilled my coffee all over the table. What are we going to do?
Don't worry, we'll get it cleaned up. Let me see what I can find to help.
I can't believe this happened. I'm so clumsy sometimes. This is going to make a real mess.
Hey, it's okay. These things happen. Let me grab some paper towels and see if we can blot it up before it spreads.
Alright, thanks. I really hope we can get this cleaned up quickly. I don't want it to stain the table.
Okay, here we go. Let's start blotting it up gently. It looks like most of it is on the surface, so this should do the trick.
Phew, that's a relief. I was worried we'd have to call someone in to deep clean the whole area.
Not at all. We've got this under control. Just take it slow and steady, and I'm sure we'll have it looking good as new in no time.
You're right. I just need to stay calm and focus on the task at hand. No need to panic over a little spilled coffee.
Exactly. Now let's see if we can find some baking soda or club soda to help lift any remaining stains. I bet we can get this table looking spotless.
Awesome, good thinking. I really appreciate you jumping in to help me deal with this. I was feeling so flustered.
No problem at all. That's what friends are for. Now let's get this cleaned up so we can move on with our day.
Sounds good. Thanks again. I don't know what I'd do without your cool head in these kinds of situations.
Lesson 30, Differing Views on Social Responsibility.
Hey Anna, did you see that article about the wealthy businessman arguing against higher taxes?
Yes, I did read that. It was quite a controversial take, wasn't it?
Absolutely. He was basically saying that since he pays his taxes, he shouldn't have to worry about things like prisons or workhouses.
Wow, that's a rather narrow and self-centered perspective, don't you think? Taxes aren't just about personal obligations.
I agree. He seems to have a very limited view of social responsibility. Just because you pay your own taxes doesn't mean you can ignore broader societal issues.
Exactly. We all have a duty to consider the greater good, not just our own interests. These kinds of problems affect us all, whether we want to acknowledge it or not.
Completely. I was disappointed to see someone in a position of wealth and influence take such a stance. It just reinforces the idea of the rich being disconnected from the realities of the less fortunate.
Sadly, that mindset is all too common among the upper echelons of society. They fail to see how their success is often built upon the struggles of others.
You make a good point. True wealth and privilege should come with a greater sense of social responsibility, not a dismissal of it.
Absolutely. I hope articles like this spur more discussion and debate around these important issues. We need to challenge these narrow-minded perspectives.
Definitely. This is the kind of conversation we need to be having more of. It's the only way we'll see real progress on addressing inequality and injustice.
Well said. I'm glad we see eye to eye on the need for a more holistic, compassionate view of social responsibility.
Me too. These are complex problems, but the solution starts with recognizing our interconnectedness and shared humanity.
Lesson 31, Discovering Beliefs Beyond Ourselves.
Morning, Anna. Have you ever thought about why we believe in certain things?
Good morning, John. That's an interesting question. I've wondered about that too. I think it's not just because we believe in ourselves, but because we hold beliefs that go beyond our individual selves.
Exactly. Our beliefs often stem from things larger than just our own personal experiences.
Definitely. Things like our upbringing, culture, education, and interactions with others all shape the beliefs we develop.
Absolutely. And those beliefs then guide how we see the world and make decisions.
Definitely. It's fascinating to think about where our beliefs come from and how they evolve over time.
It is. And I find it's important to be open-minded and willing to re-examine our beliefs, rather than just clinging to them stubbornly.
That's a great point. Being able to question our beliefs and consider new perspectives is key to growth and understanding.
Absolutely. It's a lifelong journey of learning and discovery, not just a fixed set of beliefs.
I couldn't agree more. There's always more to explore when it comes to understanding ourselves and the world around us.
Definitely. It's an endlessly fascinating topic to dive into. I'm glad we got to discuss it together.
Lesson 32: Funding Your Education Dreams.
Hey Anna, I know you've been looking into options for funding your education. Any luck on that front?
Hi John, yes, I've been exploring a few different possibilities. Have you come across any good scholarships or grants I should look into?
That's smart. There are quite a few out there if you know where to look. Have you checked with the financial aid office at your school?
Good idea, I'll definitely reach out to them. I'm also curious if there are any external scholarships or grants I may qualify for.
Absolutely, there are tons of those available as well. A lot of it comes down to doing the research and applying.
That's true. It can be a bit daunting, but I'm determined to find a way to fund my education. Every little bit helps.
For sure. Even small scholarships can make a big difference. And don't forget about things like work-study programs too.
Ooh, good point, I'll look into that as well. Combining different funding sources could really help make it all work.
Exactly. With some diligence, I'm confident you'll be able to put together a solid financial plan for school.
I appreciate the encouragement. It's motivating to know there are options out there if I'm willing to put in the effort.
Absolutely. Just stay persistent and you'll get there. Let me know if you need any other tips along the way.
Lesson 33: Camping Conundrums and Nature's Wonders.
Morning, Anna. Are you still planning that camping trip this weekend?
Good morning, John. Yes, I'm really looking forward to getting out into nature. Do you have any tips for setting up camp?
Definitely. Camping can be tricky at first, but it's so rewarding. One key thing is making sure you have the right gear.
That makes sense. I'm a bit worried about getting the tent set up properly. Any advice there?
No need to stress, it just takes a little practice. Read through the instructions carefully and try setting it up at home first.
That's a great idea. I'll do a trial run before we head out. And what about cooking and other camp essentials?
Well, I'd suggest keeping meals simple, things like pre-made sandwiches or easy-to-cook meals. And don't forget headlamps, a cooler, and plenty of water.
Noted. I want to make sure we're fully prepared. The last thing I want is to be scrambling once we're out there.
Totally understandable. Being organized ahead of time will really help you relax and enjoy the experience.
I'm just so excited to disconnect from the city and immerse myself in nature. There's something really restorative about it.
I agree completely. The fresh air, the sounds of the forest, it's incredibly rejuvenating. You're going to have a blast.
I can't wait. Thanks for all the helpful tips. I feel much more confident about our camping adventure now. Lesson 34: Navigating Remote Work Dynamics.
Hey Anna, how have you been adjusting to the remote work setup?
Hi John, it's been an interesting transition, that's for sure. Have you noticed any changes in team collaboration since we went remote?
That's a great question. I've definitely noticed some shifts, both positive and negative. What have you experienced on your end?
Well, on the plus side, I feel like we've all had to be more intentional about communication and checking in with each other.
Absolutely, that's a really good point. The lack of in person interaction means we have to be more proactive.
Exactly. But I do sometimes miss the spontaneous conversations and quick brainstorming sessions we used to have in the office.
I hear you. The informal interactions can be harder to replicate virtually. Have you found any creative ways to recreate that?
A few things. We've started doing more virtual coffee chats and setting up digital whiteboards for real-time collaboration.
Nice, those sound like great solutions. Maintaining that sense of team cohesion is so important when you're remote.
Definitely. And I've noticed we've had to be more mindful about setting clear boundaries and expectations too.
Excellent point. It's easy for work and personal life to blur when you're working from home. Have you found any tricks for that?
Establishing a dedicated workspace and sticking to set work hours has really helped me. What about you?
Same here. And taking regular breaks to get up and move around. It's so easy to just sit at the computer all day.
Absolutely. Small things like that can make a big difference in avoiding burnout. This remote shift has been a learning curve for sure.
No doubt. But it seems like you've navigated it really well so far. Let me know if you come up with any other useful tips.
Lesson 35: Ensuring fair and transparent justice.
Hey Anna, did you see the news about that high-profile legal case?
Yes, I did, John. It's concerning to hear about the accused not being fully informed of the charges and evidence against them.
Absolutely. The principle of a fair and transparent justice system is so important. No one should be in the dark about the specifics of the allegations.
Exactly. Every person deserves to have a clear understanding of the case against them, as well as access to any relevant evidence.
Definitely. And it's concerning when there are questions around the integrity of the judicial process.
I agree. Transparency and due process are essential to upholding the rule of law and maintaining public trust in the system.
Completely. Without those safeguards, there's a risk of wrongful convictions and a breakdown in the fabric of a just society.
Absolutely. And the impacts of that can be devastating, not just for the accused, but for the whole community.
Absolutely. That's why these principles need to be rigorously protected, no matter the circumstances or who is involved.
Well said. The administration of justice should be impartial and equitable, without any appearance of bias or impropriety.
Exactly. It's an issue that goes to the heart of our democratic values and civil liberties. We have to remain vigilant in defending those.
Couldn't agree more. Upholding the principles of fair and transparent justice is vital for a healthy, functioning society.
Well said. It's a complex topic, but one that's so crucial for us all to understand and advocate for.
Lesson 36: Homegrown Goodness.
Hey Anna, I heard you've started growing your own veggies. That's so cool.
You bet. I'm really enjoying it. I've got a little garden in my backyard, and I'm growing lettuce, tomatoes, and even some herbs.
Wow, homegrown produce must be so much fresher and tastier than what you get at the grocery store.
Definitely. There's just something special about picking your own veggies right out of the garden. The lettuce is so crisp and the tomatoes are bursting with flavor.
I bet it's really rewarding too, to see the fruits of your labor. Do you find it's a lot of work to maintain the garden?
It's not too bad, actually. I try to spend a little time out there each day, just watering and weeding. It's a nice way to get some fresh air and exercise.
That's awesome. Maybe you could share some of your homegrown goodies with me sometime? I'd love to try them.
Absolutely. I'd be happy to bring you some of the extras. I usually have more than I can use anyway.
You're the best. I really admire your green thumb.
Ah, thanks, John. I'm just happy to be able to grow my own healthy food. It's so rewarding.
I can imagine. Okay, I'm getting hungry just thinking about your fresh veggies. Let me know when you've got a bounty to share.
Will do. Talk to you soon. Lesson 37, Prioritizing Productivity.
Hey Anna, how have you been managing your time lately? I feel like I'm always struggling to get everything done.
You know, I've been trying to be more intentional about how I spend my time. I find that minimizing distractions and allocating specific time for tasks really helps me stay on track.
That's a great idea. I definitely get sidetracked too easily. Do you have any specific strategies you use?
Well, I try to set aside dedicated work blocks where I turn off notifications and just focus on the task at hand. And I've been better about saying no to things that might derail me.
Saying no can be so hard, but it's so important. I always feel guilty turning things down.
I know, it's not easy. But you have to be protective of your time and energy, especially when you've got a lot going on. It's better to do a few things really well than to spread yourself too thin.
That's a good point. I think I need to work on that. What else has helped you boost your productivity?
I also find that taking regular breaks is key. Even just getting up to stretch or grab a healthy snack can help me recharge and come back feeling refreshed.
Ah, the old work smarter, not harder approach. I like it. I'm definitely going to try implementing some of those strategies.
Definitely give them a shot. It takes some practice, but it's so worth it to feel more in control of your time and tasks.
Awesome, thanks for the tips. I'm feeling inspired to get a little more organized.
Anytime. Let me know if you need any other productivity hacks. I'm always happy to share what's working for me. Lesson 38, Navigating Airport Security.
Hey John, I heard you're traveling for work soon. Are you nervous about going through airport security?
A little bit, to be honest. I always feel a bit on edge when I have to go through all the checks and screenings.
I know what you mean. It can be a bit nerve-wracking, but try not to worry too much. It's just a standard procedure.
Yeah, I guess I'm just always worried I'm going to forget something or set off one of the alarms.
Don't worry, the security staff are used to dealing with anxious travelers. Just make sure you have your ID and boarding pass ready, and follow their instructions.
Alright, good to know. I'll try to stay calm and composed. Any other tips for making it through smoothly?
Let's see. Maybe pack any liquids, gels, or aerosols in your checked luggage if possible. That can help speed things up at the security checkpoint.
Oh, that's a good idea. I'll definitely do that. Anything else I should keep in mind?
Just be patient and polite with the security staff. They're just doing their job, after all. As long as you cooperate, it should be a pretty painless process.
Okay, that makes sense. I'll keep that in mind. Thanks for the advice. I feel a bit better about it now.
I'm glad I could help put your mind at ease. Safe travels. Let me know how it goes.
Will do. Appreciate it. Lesson 39, Healthier Eating on the Go.
Hey John, I heard you've been trying to eat healthier lately. That's great.
Yeah, I'm making an effort to incorporate more veggies into my diet. It's not always easy, though, especially when I'm on the go.
I hear you. It can be tough to find quick, healthy meal options sometimes. Do you have any go-to healthy meals or snacks you've been enjoying?
Well, I've been trying to make more veggie-based dishes at home, like stir-fries and pasta with lots of veggies. But when I'm out, it's harder to find those kinds of options.
That's understandable. Maybe you could try some veggie burgers or pasta dishes with lots of veggies when you're eating out?
Ooh, that's a good idea. I don't usually think to order those kinds of things, but they'd probably be a healthier choice.
Exactly. And you can always ask the restaurant to go light on the dressings and sauces too, to keep it extra healthy.
That's a great tip. I'll have to remember that next time I'm grabbing a meal on the go.
And don't forget about portable snacks like fresh fruit, veggie sticks, or even a handful of nuts. Those can be super convenient and nutritious.
Awesome, thanks for the suggestions. I feel like I have some good options to work with now.
I'm glad I could help. Eating healthy doesn't have to be complicated, especially with a little planning ahead.
Definitely. Alright, I'm feeling inspired to make some better choices. Thanks again.
Anytime. Wishing you the best on your healthier eating journey.
Lesson 40, Maintaining a Healthy Work-Life Balance.
Hey John, I've noticed you've been working a lot of late nights lately. Are you feeling okay with the workload?
Yeah, it's been a bit overwhelming, to be honest. I'm trying to get everything done, but I feel like I'm always working.
I understand the pressure, but it's so important to maintain a healthy work-life balance. Have you thought about setting some boundaries?
I know, you're right. It's just hard for me to say no sometimes, especially when my boss is piling on the tasks.
I get it, but you have to put your own well-being first. Overworking can lead to burnout, which helps no one.
That's true. I guess I need to be better about prioritizing and setting limits on my time.
Exactly. Maybe try to avoid work after a certain hour in the evenings, or set aside specific times for deep focus without distractions.
Those are good suggestions. I should probably start scheduling breaks and downtime too, huh?
Definitely. It's so important to recharge and do things you enjoy outside of work. That will help you stay energized and productive.
You're right. I feel like I'm always just going, and I need to slow down a bit.
I know it's not easy, but your mental and physical health have to come first. Don't be afraid to set boundaries and say no when needed.
You're absolutely right. I'm going to make some changes to create a better work-life balance. Thanks for the advice.
I'm glad I could help. Remember, it's all about finding what works best for you. Wishing you all the best.
Lesson 41, Decreasing Consumption.
Hey Anna, have you made any alterations to your lifestyle recently?
Yes, I've actually decreased my consumption of certain products. How about you?
That's great to hear. I've been trying to do the same. Have you noticed any benefits from your changes?
Definitely. I've been more mindful of my purchases and it's had a positive impact on my spending and waste reduction.
That's wonderful. I've found that even small changes can make a big difference over time.
Absolutely. Every little bit helps when it comes to being more sustainable.
Agreed. Have you made any specific changes that you'd recommend to others?
Well, I've started buying more secondhand items and focusing on purchasing higher quality, longer-lasting products. Have you tried anything like that?
Yes, I've been doing the same. I've also been trying to reduce my food waste by meal planning and using up leftovers.
That's a great idea. Reducing food waste is such an important step. Have you noticed any other benefits from that?
Yes, I've actually saved quite a bit of money by being more mindful of what I'm purchasing and consuming.
That's fantastic. It's amazing how those small changes can really add up.
Absolutely. I'm glad we're both making an effort to be more sustainable. It's an important issue.
Definitely. Every bit of progress, no matter how small, makes a difference.
I agree. Thanks for the great chat. Let me know if you have any other tips to share.
Lesson 42, Coaxing a Cat Down.
Hey Anna, did you hear about the cat that got stuck up in the tree?
Oh no, that must have been quite the ordeal. How did they get the cat down?
Well, it took some coaxing, but eventually, with some treats and gentle encouragement, the cat came down on its own.
That's good to hear. Cats can be so stubborn sometimes, but I'm glad they were able to lure it down without having to call the fire department.
Me too. Cats definitely have a mind of their own. But a little patience and the right approach usually does the trick.
Absolutely. It's all about understanding their temperament and finding the right motivation. Treats are usually the way to a cat's heart.
Definitely. And a calming voice goes a long way too. Cats can sense when you're getting frustrated.
That's so true. Staying patient and positive is key when trying to get a cat to cooperate.
Yep, it's all about reading the cat's body language and responding accordingly. With a little finesse, most cats can be talked down from their high perches.
I'm glad this story had a happy ending. It's always nice when pets can be rescued without too much drama.
Agreed. A little creativity and a lot of care is usually all it takes.
Definitely. Cats may be independent, but they do rely on us to look out for them.
Absolutely. And it's so rewarding when we're able to help them out of a sticky situation.
Definitely. It's a good reminder that a little patience and the right approach can go a long way.
Definitely. This cat is probably feeling pretty proud of itself for making it down safely.
Lesson 43, Apartment Hunting.
Hey Anna, I've been looking for a new apartment. Have you seen any good listings lately?
As a matter of fact, I just saw an ad for a really nice 3-bedroom apartment downtown. It's only $450 a month.
Wow, that's a great price for downtown. What's the catch?
No catch as far as I can tell. It's a spacious unit with hardwood floors and in-unit laundry.
That does sound pretty ideal. Where exactly is it located?
It's right in the heart of the city, just a few blocks from the main square.
That's super convenient. I'm definitely interested. Do you have the landlord's contact info?
Yes, I can send you the details. The ad said they're looking to rent it out quickly.
Awesome, I'll reach out to them today. An apartment like that in that area for $450 is hard to come by.
I know, right? You'll have to act fast if you want to snag it.
For sure. This could be the perfect spot for me. Thanks so much for the tip.
Happy to help. Let me know if you need any other apartment hunting advice.
Will do. I really appreciate you keeping an eye out for good deals like this.
Of course, that's what friends are for. Best of luck with the rental application.
Thanks, I have a good feeling about this one. Fingers crossed.
Lesson 44, Dining Out.
Hey Anna, I was thinking about trying that new burger joint downtown. Have you been there yet?
No, but I've heard great things. I'm always up for trying new restaurants.
Me too. The reviews say they have some really inventive burger creations.
Ooh, that sounds right up my alley. What did you have in mind?
Well, they have this one burger topped with mac and cheese that sounds pretty wild.
Mac and cheese on a burger. That's definitely unique. I'm intrigued.
Right? It seems like an odd combo, but I bet it's delicious.
For sure, sometimes the craziest sounding dishes end up being the best.
Exactly. And they have a bunch of other interesting toppings too, like fried pickles.
Fried pickles. Now that's taking burgers to a whole new level.
I know, it's making my mouth water just thinking about it.
Same here. When did you want to check it out? I'm free tonight if you're up for it.
Perfect, let's do it. I'm excited to try something new and different.
Same here, it'll be a fun little adventure. I can't wait to see what other crazy burger creations they have.
Me neither. This is gonna be good, I can just feel it.
Lesson 45, New Year's Traditions.
Hey Anna, did you know that the tradition of celebrating New Year's on January 1st started in ancient Rome?
Really? I didn't realize the tradition went back that far. What led them to choose January 1st?
Well, the Roman calendar originally started the new year in March. But eventually they shifted it to January 1st to honor the god Janus, who had two faces, one looking back and one looking forward.
Ah, I see. That symbolism makes a lot of sense as a way to mark the transition to a new year.
Exactly. The Romans saw January 1st as the appropriate time to both reflect on the past and look ahead to the future.
That's really fascinating. I wonder how the tradition spread from ancient Rome to become the global New Year's celebration we know today.
Over time, as the Roman Empire expanded, the custom of celebrating on January 1st became more widely adopted. Even after the fall of Rome, the tradition carried on.
Wow, that's quite a long legacy. It's amazing how certain cultural practices can endure for centuries.
Absolutely. The New Year's tradition is a great example of how rituals and celebrations can transcend time and place.
You're right. It's a nice reminder of the enduring power of human tradition and community.
Indeed. Even as the world changes, some things like ringing in the new year on January 1st remain a constant.
It's comforting in a way, isn't it? That sense of continuity across the ages.
Definitely. The New Year's customs connect us to our shared history as a species.
Well said. I'll have to keep that in mind as I celebrate the new year this time around.
Absolutely. It makes the occasion feel all the more meaningful when you appreciate the deep roots of the tradition.
I couldn't agree more. Learning the history behind these customs really enriches the experience. Lesson 46, Teamwork to bring food to the nest.
Hey Anna, have you gathered enough food for our nest today?
Hello John, I was just on my way to collect some more. How about you?
I've got some good stuff, but I think we still need a few more items.
Okay, let's work together to make sure we have everything we need.
Sounds good. I'll grab some berries and you can look for some leaves and twigs.
Great idea. The more we can collect as a team, the better.
Exactly. Working together is the best way to ensure our nest is fully stocked.
Absolutely. I've found some nice soft leaves that would make a cozy lining.
Wonderful. I've got a nice big bundle of berries to add to the pile.
Perfect, this is really coming together nicely. I think we've got what we need now.
Wonderful, let's head back and start building up the nest.
I'm looking forward to it. It's so satisfying to work as a team like this.
I agree, it makes the whole process much more enjoyable.
Definitely. With both of us pitching in, we'll have a cozy new home in no time. Lesson 47, Planning a Relaxing Getaway.
Hey Anna, have you given any thought to where we should go for our weekend trip?
Hello John, I was thinking a nice nature retreat would be a great option.
That sounds lovely. Do you have any specific places in mind?
I was thinking a cabin in the woods would be a simple yet charming choice.
That's a great idea. It would be so peaceful and relaxing.
Exactly. And it's more convenient for sightseeing than a crowded city.
Absolutely, that's a perfect choice. How about the length of the trip?
I was thinking 3 nights would give us enough time to unwind and explore.
Wonderful, that's a great amount of time. I'm really looking forward to it.
Me too, it'll be a great break from our busy schedules.
Definitely. A little getaway is just what we need.
I agree, it's going to be so nice to have this time to recharge.
Absolutely. I can't wait to experience the peace and tranquility.
Me neither, it's going to be a wonderful trip. Lesson 48, Challenging First Impressions.
Hey Anna, I wanted to talk to you about our new coworker Sarah.
Oh, what do you think of her so far? I admit, my first impression wasn't great.
I know what you mean, but I've come to realize she's actually a really kind person.
Really? I'm surprised to hear that. She seemed so cold and standoffish at first.
I thought the same thing, but I've learned you can't judge a book by its cover.
That's a good point. I guess I shouldn't have made assumptions so quickly.
Exactly. Once I got to know her better, I realized she's funny and helpful.
Wow, I'm glad you gave her a chance. I'll have to reevaluate my opinion of her.
I think that's a wise idea. She's really a kind and genuine person, once you get past that initial shyness.
I appreciate you sharing your perspective. It's a good reminder not to jump to conclusions.
Definitely. I'm glad I was able to change my mind about her. She's a great addition to the team.
I'm looking forward to getting to know her better then. Thanks for opening my eyes.
Anytime. It's important we all try to see the best in each other.
Lesson 49, Anticipating a Relaxing Getaway.
Hey Anna, I can't wait for our weekend trip to the cabin.
I know, me too. I'm really looking forward to this relaxing getaway.
Absolutely, it's going to be such a nice break from everything.
I agree, we both deserve some time to unwind and recharge.
Definitely. The peaceful surroundings will be exactly what we need.
I'm so excited to experience the tranquility of the woods.
Me too, it's going to be wonderful. Have you thought about any activities we could do?
I was thinking we could go for some nice hikes and maybe do a little exploring.
That sounds perfect. And of course, lots of time to just relax.
Exactly, that's the main goal, no agenda, just pure relaxation.
I can't wait. It's going to be so rejuvenating.
I agree, it'll be the ideal escape from our busy lives.
I'm really grateful we're able to take this trip together.
Me too, it's going to be a wonderful bonding experience. Lesson 50, Discussing Potential Risks.
Hey Anna, I wanted to talk to you about our upcoming trip to the cabin.
Of course, what's on your mind? I'm happy to discuss any concerns.
Well, I just wanted to make sure we've thought through any potential risks or contingencies.
That's a good point. We should definitely make sure we're prepared for anything.
Exactly. I know the location is remote, so we'll need to plan accordingly.
Absolutely. We should make sure we have all the necessary supplies and equipment.
Definitely. And it might be a good idea to check in with someone regularly, just in case.
Good thinking. That will give us an extra layer of safety and security.
Absolutely. I just want to make sure we have a safe and enjoyable trip.
I appreciate you taking the time to think through all of this. It's really important.
Agreed. I'm sure with a little planning, we'll be able to have a wonderful, worry-free getaway.
I'm confident in that as well. It's going to be such a nice break.
Definitely. I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm glad we're being proactive.
Me too. I'm sure it'll be an amazing experience. Lesson 51, The Security Dogs.
Hey Anna, did you hear about those amazing security dogs? They really impress me with their hard work.
Oh yes, I've always been fascinated by their abilities. They can detect threats so quickly and accurately.
Absolutely. Their training is incredibly thorough. I'm always amazed at how they can sniff out even the smallest suspicious item.
Definitely. And the way they remain calm and focused, even in high-stress situations, is truly remarkable.
Definitely. I'll always appreciate the hard work and dedication of these security dogs. They keep us all so much safer.
Me too. They're truly unsung heroes in my book. I'm glad people are starting to recognize just how valuable they are.
Agreed. These dogs play a vital role in protecting us, and I'm grateful for their service.
Absolutely. I hope more people realize just how much we owe to these amazing security dogs.
Me too. They deserve all the praise and recognition they can get.
Couldn't agree more. These security dogs are true professionals, and I'm in awe of their abilities.
Well said. I'm glad we see eye to eye on this. These dogs are truly remarkable.
Definitely. I'm always happy to discuss the incredible work of our security dogs.
Me too. It's a topic that really fascinates me.
Same here. I could go on all day about how impressive these dogs are.
I know, right? They're just incredible.
Lesson 52, Planning a Vacation.
Hey Anna, have you been thinking about taking a vacation soon?
You know, I have been considering it. How about you, any plans for a trip?
I've been thinking about it, but I'm not sure where I want to go yet. Do you have any suggestions?
Well, I've been looking into a few different destinations. A beach getaway could be really nice and relaxing.
That does sound lovely. I do enjoy spending time by the water. Have you found any good beach spots you're interested in?
Yes, actually. I've been looking into a few coastal towns that seem really charming and peaceful.
Ooh, tell me more. I'm always up for discovering new travel spots.
Well, there's this quaint little town I've heard about that has these gorgeous sandy beaches and crystal clear waters.
That sounds amazing. I could really use a bit of rest and relaxation right about now.
Same here. A beach vacation sounds perfect. We should definitely plan something soon.
Absolutely. I'll have to look into some options and see what works best for my schedule.
Sounds good. I'm happy to help you research potential destinations if you'd like.
That would be great, thanks. I'm excited to start planning our next adventure.
Me too. This is going to be so much fun. Lesson 53, A Thoughtful Father's Day.
Hey Anna, I wanted to tell you about something special I did for my dad on Father's Day.
Oh, that's wonderful. What did you do?
Well, you know my dad is a really great father. He's always been there for me, no matter what.
That's so nice to hear. It's clear he's had a big impact on your life.
Absolutely. He's a very good father, and on Father's Day, I always buy him a card that tells him just how much he means to me.
That's such a thoughtful gesture. I'm sure he really appreciates it.
He does. He always gets a little emotional when he reads the card. It means a lot to him.
I can imagine. Small acts of appreciation like that can mean the world to a parent.
Definitely. I just want him to know how much I value all the time and effort he's put into raising me.
That's so kind of you. I'm sure he feels incredibly proud and loved.
I hope so. He's always supported me, and I'm grateful to have him as a father.
That's really wonderful. It's great to see someone so appreciative of their parent.
Thanks. My dad is truly special, and I'm glad I can show him how much he means to me.
That's lovely. I'm sure he's a very lucky man to have a son like you.
I appreciate that. He's been the best dad I could have asked for.
Lesson 54, The Vitality of Europe.
Hey Anna, have you been following the discussions about the cultural heritage of Europe?
Yes, actually. I find it to be a fascinating topic. What have you been learning about it?
Well, I've read that these cultural traditions and influences have been the source of Europe's vitality through the centuries.
That's really interesting. Can you tell me more about how they've contributed to Europe's vitality?
Absolutely. These cultural elements, like art, music, literature, and architecture, have helped shape the identity and spirit of Europe.
That makes a lot of sense. Europe's diverse cultural landscape has undoubtedly been a driving force behind its continued evolution and progress.
Exactly. The richness and vibrancy of European culture have been instrumental in fueling innovation, creativity, and intellectual discourse.
I can see why that would be the case. Culture is such a powerful force in shaping a society and its development.
Definitely. Europe's cultural heritage has been a source of pride and inspiration for its people, and it continues to attract visitors from around the world.
That's a great point. Europe's cultural attractions are a major draw for tourism, which also contributes to its economic and social vitality.
Absolutely. It's a testament to the enduring impact of these cultural traditions that they remain so influential and appealing, even in the modern era.
I couldn't agree more. Europe's cultural vitality is truly a remarkable and valuable asset.
I'm glad you share my fascination with this topic. It's a complex but important discussion.
Definitely. I always enjoy exploring the deeper significance of Europe's cultural heritage.
Me too. It's a rich and multifaceted subject that never fails to captivate me.
Lesson 55, The Perfect Mary Poppins.
Hey Anna, have you heard the news about the new Mary Poppins movie?
Oh, yes. I'm so excited about it. Did you hear who they cast in the lead role?
I did, and I think they made an excellent choice. Julie is going to be perfect for the part.
I agree. She has such a charming and whimsical on-screen presence that I think will really capture the essence of Mary Poppins.
Definitely. And she's got the acting chops to pull off the character's complexity and nuance.
Absolutely. I'm sure she'll bring a fresh and engaging interpretation to the role.
Me too. I have a feeling this new Mary Poppins is going to be a real treat for audiences.
I can't wait to see it. Mary Poppins is such an iconic character, and I'm curious to see how Julie will make the role her own.
Same here. I'm sure she must have been thrilled to be offered the part.
Oh, I'm sure. It's the kind of dream role that any actress would jump at the chance to play.
Definitely. And I think she's going to do an amazing job. I have high hopes for this new adaptation.
Me too. I have a feeling it's going to be a huge hit with both longtime fans and new audiences.
Agreed. This is sure to be a really special and memorable take on a beloved classic.
I couldn't agree more. I can't wait to see Julie bring her own magic to the character of Mary Poppins.
Same here. This is going to be a real treat for all of us.
Lesson 56, Anglo-Saxon versus French words.
Hey Anna, have you ever noticed how English has words from both Anglo-Saxon and French origins?
Ah, yes, it's quite fascinating. The Anglo-Saxon words are often shorter and more commonly used in everyday language.
Exactly. For example, the word house is Anglo-Saxon, while the word residence is French.
That's a great point. The Anglo-Saxon words tend to be more earthy and direct, while the French-derived ones are often more formal and abstract.
Absolutely. And it's not just nouns, verbs and adjectives can have those origins as well. Like ask is Anglo-Saxon, but inquire is French.
Emichum and happy is Anglo-Saxon, while joyful is French. It's amazing how the two linguistic influences have shaped the English language.
It really is. I find it interesting how certain contexts will favor one type of word over the other.
Me too. For instance, we'd be more likely to use the Anglo-Saxon words in casual conversation, while the French-derived ones might be more common in academic or professional settings.
Precisely. It adds such richness and nuance to the language. I could go on all day about the interplay of these linguistic origins.
As could I. It's a topic I find endlessly fascinating. We could discuss it for hours, but for now, I think that's a great overview of that interesting linguistic dynamic.
I agree. It's been a pleasure chatting with you about this. I always enjoy our conversations where we can explore the intricacies of the English language.
Likewise. You've really piqued my interest in this subject even further. I look forward to our next linguistic adventure. Lesson 57, Planning a Small Trip.
Hey Anna, I've been thinking about taking a short trip soon. Do you have any suggestions?
Ooh, a trip sounds lovely. Where were you thinking of going?
I'm not sure yet, I'm open to ideas. What are some of your favorite nearby destinations?
Well, there's the charming little town just a couple hours away. It has such a quaint, historic downtown area.
That does sound nice. What kinds of things are there to do there?
Lots of cute boutiques, cafes, and art galleries to explore. Plus, there are some scenic hiking trails just outside of town.
Hiking? That's right up my alley. Do you think we could make a weekend of it?
Absolutely. You could even book a cozy little B&B for a night or two. It would be the perfect quick getaway.
That's a fantastic idea. I think I'm sold. A weekend trip to that charming town sounds perfect.
Wonderful. I'm so excited for you. Let me know if you need any other suggestions for planning the trip.
I will, thanks Anna. This is exactly the kind of mini vacation I was hoping to find.
I'm glad I could help provide the inspiration. I hope you have an amazing time on your trip.
I'm sure I will. Thanks again, you're the best.
Lesson 58, DIY Birthday Card.
Hey Anna, I have a quick question for you. I made a birthday card for my dad and I'm not sure what to do with the pieces of paper I put inside it.
Oh, that's so thoughtful of you to make a card. What kind of pieces of paper did you include?
Well, I wrote little notes and messages on some scrap paper and folded them up to put inside the card.
I see. That's a really nice personalized touch. What were you thinking of doing with the folded papers?
I'm not sure, should I just leave them inside the card when I give it to him?
That could work. You could attach them to the inside of the card so they don't get lost. Or you could arrange them in a creative way before closing the card.
Ooh, that's a good idea. Maybe I'll fan them out or stack them up inside so he can unfold them one by one.
Yes, that would be so fun and interactive. It'll make opening the card an experience.
Exactly, I like that. I want it to be a little surprise for him as he goes through the card.
I think that's a wonderful idea. He's sure to appreciate all the thoughtful effort you've put into it.
I hope so. Thanks for the helpful suggestions. I'm excited to finish up this birthday card now.
You're very welcome. I'm sure your dad will love it. Let me know how it turns out. Lesson 59, Paid Ads versus Organic Growth.
Hey Anna, I've been debating whether to invest in some paid ads for my business. What do you think, should I go for it?
That's an interesting question. It really depends on your specific goals and budget. What are you hoping to achieve with paid ads?
Well, I'd love to drive more traffic to my website and hopefully get some new customers. But I'm not sure if it's worth the investment.
I see. Paid ads can certainly be effective for boosting visibility and generating leads. But it's important to weigh the costs versus the potential return.
That's a good point. My marketing budget is limited, so I want to make sure I'm spending it wisely.
Absolutely. Have you explored other organic growth strategies as well? Things like SEO, content marketing, and social media can also be powerful.
I have, but progress has been slow. That's why I'm considering the paid ads option to speed things up.
I understand the appeal. Just be sure to do your research, set a realistic budget, and track the performance closely. Paid ads can be tricky to get right.
Good advice. Maybe I'll start with a small test campaign and see how it goes before committing more funds.
That sounds like a wise approach. Dip your toe in first, analyze the results, and then decide if you want to scale up the paid advertising.
Okay, I think that's what I'll do. Thanks for your input. It's really helpful to get your perspective on this.
I'm glad I could provide a balanced view. Best of luck with your marketing experiments. Let me know how it goes. Lesson 60: The Joys of Remote Work.
Hey Anna, I've been loving working from home lately. How about you? How's the remote life treating you?
It's been great, honestly. I feel like I've really found my groove with the whole remote work thing.
Same here. There are just so many advantages to not having to go into an office every day.
Absolutely. The flexibility and lack of commute are huge perks. Not to mention the ability to customize my workspace.
Exactly. I've been able to create this really productive little nook for myself at home. It's made a big difference.
That's wonderful. I've done the same, designated a specific area just for work. It helps me stay focused.
For sure. And being able to take little breaks throughout the day to recharge is amazing.
Yes. I love being able to step away, do a quick chore, or even just stretch my legs when I need to.
Agreed. The work-life balance is so much better. I feel like I'm getting more done, but also have more time for myself.
Definitely. The lack of a rigid 9 to 5 schedule has been really liberating. I'm more energized and efficient.
Totally. I wouldn't trade this remote setup for anything. It's been a game changer for my productivity and overall well-being.
Lesson 61: John and Anna's Fountain Rendezvous.
Hello Anna, did you hear about the new fountain that opened up downtown?
Wow, no I didn't. Where is it exactly?
It's just a few blocks from the park. I heard it's really beautiful, with colorful lights and a nice seating area around it.
That sounds lovely. I'd love to check it out. When are you free to go see it together?
How about this weekend? We could grab a coffee and then walk over to the fountain.
Perfect. I'm free Saturday afternoon. Shall we meet at the cafe by the park entrance?
Sounds good. I'll see you there at 2 o'clock. It'll be nice to spend some time outdoors and enjoy the new fountain.
Absolutely, I'm really looking forward to it. The fresh air and a nice view will be a great way to spend the afternoon.
Definitely. I'm sure we'll have a great time. See you Saturday.
Yes, can't wait. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
You too. Take care.
Lesson 62: Anna's Painting Passion.
Hey John, I've been getting really into painting lately. Have you tried acrylics before?
No, I haven't actually. What do you like about working with acrylics?
They're so versatile. You can use them for all kinds of techniques: layering, texturing, blending. The colors are so vibrant too.
That sounds really interesting. What kind of paintings have you been working on?
I've been experimenting with abstract pieces, playing with shapes and colors. It's so relaxing and rewarding to create something from scratch.
That's awesome. Do you have any of your paintings displayed at home?
Yes, I've got a few hanging up in my living room. You'll have to come over sometime and take a look.
I'd love that. Seeing your artwork in person would be great.
Definitely. We can grab a coffee beforehand and then you can give me your honest feedback.
Sounds like a plan. I'm looking forward to it. Painting is such an impressive skill.
Thank you. I'm really enjoying the process of learning and improving. It's been a wonderful creative outlet.
I can imagine. Well, let me know when works for you to get together. I'd be happy to visit and see your paintings. Lesson 63, Anna and John beat the heat.
Phew, it's so hot today. Do you think we could turn the AC up a bit?
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Let me take a look. Adjusts thermostat there, how's that?
Ah, that's much better. Thank you. I really appreciate you taking care of that.
No problem at all. I'm glad I could help make it more comfortable in here.
It's just been such a scorcher lately. I'm not a fan of the summer heat.
I hear you. It can be pretty brutal. At least we have the AC to keep us cool.
Absolutely. I don't know what I'd do without it on days like this.
Same here. Although I do enjoy spending time outdoors when it's not so sweltering.
Me too. Maybe we can plan a nice hiking trip once the temperatures come down a bit.
That sounds wonderful. Getting out in nature would be perfect.
Definitely. I'll start looking at some trails we could explore.
Sounds good. Just let me know what you find and we'll make a plan.
Will do. Thanks again for adjusting the AC. I'm feeling much more comfortable now.
Happy to help. Stay cool. Lesson 64, John and Anna's bedtime routine.
Hey Anna, how's your evening been so far?
It's been good, just winding down for the night. My brother and I have been having our usual bedtime chat.
That's nice. What do you two usually talk about before bed?
Oh, all sorts of things. We'll catch up on our days, share stories, and sometimes even say a little prayer together.
That's really special. I love that you and your brother have that tradition.
Yes, it's one of my favorite parts of the day. We've been doing it since we were kids.
That's so sweet. I remember having similar late-night talks with my siblings when we were younger.
It's such a nice way to end the day, isn't it? Having that time to reflect and connect.
Absolutely. Those quiet moments before bed can be so peaceful and meaningful.
Definitely. Do you have any special nighttime routines or traditions?
Not really, but maybe I should try to start something like that. It seems so comforting.
I highly recommend it. Even just a few minutes of winding down can make a big difference.
I'll have to give it a try. Thanks for sharing about your brother, it sounds really special.
Of course. Let me know if you ever want to chat more about it. I'm always happy to discuss.
Will do. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
You too. Sweet dreams. Lesson 65, John and Anna discuss American literature.
Hey John, I've been reading some classic American literature lately. Have you ever read any of those stories?
You know, I haven't read too much in that genre. What have you been enjoying?
Well, I just finished rereading The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. It's such a fun and adventurous book.
Ah yes, Mark Twain is a legendary American author. I remember reading that in school.
It's so well written and the characters are so memorable. Have you read any other Twain works?
I think I read the celebrated Jumping Frog of Calaveras County a long time ago. But that's about it for me.
Oh, that's a great short story too. Twain had such a unique and witty writing style.
Definitely. American literature seems to be full of those kinds of classic, iconic stories.
Absolutely. Have you explored any other famous American authors or novels?
Not really, to be honest. Any recommendations you have would be great.
Well, I'm also a big fan of F. Scott Fitzgerald. The Great Gatsby is an absolute masterpiece.
Ah, yes, I've heard that's an essential American novel. I'll have to check it out.
I think you'd really enjoy it. The themes and characters are so rich and complex.
Wonderful, I'll be sure to add it to my reading list. Expanding my literary horizons sounds appealing.
Fantastic. Let me know what you think once you get a chance to read it. I'm always happy to discuss books.
Will do. Thanks for the recommendations. I'm looking forward to diving into some classic American literature. Lesson 66: How to find the pasta sauce aisle.
Hey Anna, do you know where I can find the pasta sauce aisle? I'm having trouble locating it.
Oh, it's right next to the canned goods section, just a few aisles over. Let me show you.
Great, thanks. I've been wandering around this grocery store for ages trying to find it.
No problem at all. The layout of this place can be a bit confusing, but the pasta sauce is super easy to find once you know where it is.
Ah, I see, thanks for the tip. I'm trying to make a nice Italian dinner tonight, so the pasta sauce is key.
Wonderful, Italian food is my favorite. What kind of pasta are you planning to make?
I was thinking of going with a classic spaghetti and meatballs. Do you have any recommendations for a good sauce brand?
For spaghetti and meatballs, I'd suggest trying the Classico marinara sauce. It's really flavorful and pairs perfectly with the dish.
Classico, got it. I'll be sure to grab a jar. Thanks so much for your help. I appreciate it.
Of course, happy to lend a hand. Enjoy your dinner, and let me know how it turns out.
Will do, thanks again. See you around.
Lesson 67: Exploring Africa.
Morning Anna, I have a question for you about African history.
Sure, what would you like to know?
I read that Europeans had traveled around the coasts of Africa for hundreds of years, but very few white people had actually traveled deep into the interior. Why was that?
That's a great observation. The interior of Africa was largely unexplored by Europeans for a few key reasons. Firstly, the dense jungles and harsh environments made it extremely difficult to travel inland.
Ah, I see, the terrain must have been a major challenge.
Exactly. Additionally, many African societies were quite isolated and protective of their territory, making it hard for outsiders to gain access.
I imagine disease was also a big problem for European explorers in the African interior.
Absolutely. Diseases like malaria and yellow fever took a huge toll on the health of European travelers. They simply weren't prepared to deal with those tropical illnesses.
Wow, it's amazing any Europeans were able to venture into the heart of Africa at all given all those obstacles.
It really is. The few who did manage to explore the interior, like David Livingstone, are rightly considered pioneering adventurers.
Well, I'm glad more of Africa is accessible today. It seems like such a fascinating and diverse continent.
Definitely. There's still so much left to discover, even in our modern era.
I'll have to add an African safari to my travel bucket list then. Sounds amazing.
Excellent idea. I'm sure you'd have an unforgettable experience. Lesson 68: Planning a bed and breakfast stay.
Hey Anna, I'm trying to plan a weekend getaway and I'm considering staying at a bed and breakfast. What do you think?
Ooh, a bed and breakfast stay can be such a cozy and charming experience. Where are you thinking of going?
Well, I was looking at a few options in the countryside, not too far from the city. The prices seem reasonable, but I want to make sure I plan it out properly.
That sounds lovely. The countryside can be so peaceful and relaxing. What kind of things are you hoping to do on your trip?
Mostly just unwind, enjoy the scenery, and maybe check out some local shops and cafes. Nothing too ambitious, just a nice, quiet weekend away.
Perfect. For a weekend like that, a bed and breakfast would be ideal. They often have such a warm, homey atmosphere.
Good to know. Any tips on how I should go about planning the stay?
A few things I'd suggest: research the area thoroughly, read reviews of potential B&Bs, and see if you can arrange any special packages or activities.
Got it, that makes sense. I want to make sure I find the right place that fits my needs and budget.
Absolutely. And don't be afraid to reach out to the B&B owners directly with any questions. They're usually very helpful in planning the perfect stay.
Wonderful, thank you so much for the advice. I feel more prepared to start booking my weekend getaway.
I'm glad I could help. Let me know how it goes. I'd love to hear about your bed and breakfast experience. Lesson 69, World War I Memorials.
Say, I had a rather somber question for you. Do you know much about the memorials for World War I?
Ah, yes, the memorials honoring those who lost their lives in the Great War. It's such an important but tragic part of history.
From what I understand, the bodies of over 120,000 British soldiers who died in World War I had to be left where they fell on the battlefields.
That's right, the scale of the casualties was simply overwhelming. There just wasn't a feasible way to recover and identify every single fallen soldier.
That must have been an incredibly difficult decision at the time. To leave so many of their countrymen behind.
Absolutely. It's understandable why so many war memorials were later erected, to provide a place for the families to grieve and pay their respects.
Yes, exactly. I read that the largest of these memorials is the Thiepval Memorial in France, honoring over 72,000 missing British and South African soldiers.
Wow, that's an astounding number. The sheer magnitude of lives lost in that conflict is just staggering.
It really puts the human cost of war into perspective. These memorials seem so important for remembering their sacrifice.
I agree. They serve as solemn reminders of the immense toll that war can take, and the need to strive for peace.
Absolutely. It's a heavy but essential part of history that we must never forget.
Well said. These memorials ensure that the fallen are never truly lost to us. Lesson 70, Discussing Delivery Options.
Hey Anna, I wanted to get your thoughts on something. What do you think about delivery service options these days?
Delivery services have really expanded a lot in recent years, haven't they? There are so many different options to choose from now.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed. I'm trying to decide which one might be best for an upcoming order I need to place.
What kind of item are you looking to have delivered? That could help narrow down the best service.
I'm ordering some furniture, actually. So I need a delivery option that can handle larger, bulkier items.
For something like furniture, I'd probably recommend looking into a specialized delivery service. They tend to be more equipped to handle those bigger deliveries.
That makes sense. I was considering using one of the major online retailers, but you think a dedicated furniture delivery service would be better?
Definitely. The major retailers are great for a lot of things, but furniture can be tricky. A specialty service will likely offer better care and attention.
Good to know. And what about things like time frames and costs? Are there big differences there?
In my experience, the specialty services are usually a bit more expensive, but the delivery times can be faster and more reliable.
Okay, that's helpful to weigh. I suppose it comes down to whether I want to prioritize cost or convenience.
Exactly. It's about finding the right balance for your particular needs and budget. I'm happy to provide more specifics if you have a certain service in mind.
I appreciate that. Let me take another look at my options and I may reach out if I have any other questions.
Sounds good. I'm always glad to lend a hand with these kinds of practical decisions.
Fantastic, thanks so much. I'll be in touch.
Lesson 71, Learning New Languages.
Morning, Anna. Did you hear about the new language learning app everyone's been talking about?
No, I haven't. What is it? I'm always on the lookout for good language learning tools.
It's called Lingoplex. Apparently, it uses cutting-edge AI to create personalized lessons based on your interests and skill level.
That sounds really cool. I've been wanting to brush up on my Spanish. Do you think it would be a good way to learn a new language from scratch too?
Absolutely. The app is designed for all levels, from complete beginners to advanced learners. It even has conversational practice with native speakers.
That's great. I'll have to check it out. Learning a new language can be challenging, but having the right tools makes it so much easier.
I agree. And the more interactive and engaging the lessons are, the more motivated you'll be to stick with it.
Totally. I find that apps that make it feel like a game rather than just rote memorization are the most effective.
Same here. Oh, and I heard Lingoplex has fun mini-games and quizzes built in to reinforce what you're learning.
Nice, that sounds perfect. I'll download it tonight and give it a try. Thanks for the recommendation.
No problem at all. Let me know how it goes. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on it.
Will do. Enjoy the rest of your day. Lesson 72, Checking Out at the Hotel.
Excuse me, I think it's time for me to check out of the hotel.
Oh, okay. Did you have a good stay?
Yes, it was wonderful. The room was comfortable and the staff was very friendly.
That's great to hear. Did you take care of all your charges during your stay?
I believe so, but let me just double-check with the front desk to make sure.
Good idea. It's always better to be safe and make sure everything is settled.
Absolutely. I don't want any surprise fees or charges when I'm checking out.
Of course not. The front desk should be able to provide you with a detailed invoice.
Perfect, I'll head over there now. Do you happen to know if they accept credit cards for the final payment?
Yes, most hotels these days accept all major credit cards for checkout. Just be sure to have your card ready.
Got it, thanks Anna. I appreciate you reminding me to take care of all the details.
No problem at all. I hope the rest of your travels go smoothly. Lesson 73, Overcoming Shyness.
Hey Anna, can I ask you something?
Sure, what's up?
Well, I've been meaning to work on being more confident and outgoing, but I struggle with shyness sometimes.
I see. Shyness can definitely be a challenge, but there are ways to overcome it.
Really? What do you suggest? I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Well, one thing that can help is starting small. Try speaking up in smaller groups or one-on-one situations first.
That makes sense. I tend to clam up in larger social settings.
Exactly. It's easier to build up that confidence gradually. And practice makes perfect.
You're right. I should just go for it, even if it feels uncomfortable at first.
Absolutely. The more you push yourself, the more natural it will become.
I'll keep that in mind. Any other tips?
Yes, try to focus on listening and asking questions rather than just talking about yourself.
Good point. That takes the pressure off a bit.
Exactly. And remember, people generally like talking about themselves. Use that to your advantage.
That's a great idea. I'll give it a try. Thanks for the advice.
Of course. I'm happy I could help. Let me know how it goes. Lesson 74, The History of Microbiology.
Hey Anna, did you know that today is World Microbiome Day?
No, I didn't. That's fascinating. What is the significance of that?
Well, it's all about celebrating the incredible world of microorganisms and their impact on our lives.
That's really cool. I'm always amazed by the latest discoveries in microbiology.
Me too. Did you know that the foundations of modern microbiology were laid by Louis Pasteur?
Ah, yes, the famous French scientist. What were some of his key contributions?
Well, Pasteur famously disproved the theory of spontaneous generation. He showed that microbes don't just appear out of nowhere.
Ah, I see, that was a major breakthrough. What else did Pasteur accomplish?
He also developed the process of pasteurization, which is named after him. This helped make dairy products and other foods safer.
That's so interesting. I knew pasteurization was important, but I didn't realize it was named after Pasteur himself.
Exactly. And his work laid the groundwork for the germ theory of disease, which revolutionized medical practices.
Wow, Pasteur really was a pioneer in the field of microbiology. It's amazing how much his discoveries have impacted our world.
Absolutely. Microbiology is such a fascinating and rapidly evolving field. There's still so much to learn.
I agree. It's incredible to think about all the microscopic life forms that are crucial to our existence.
Definitely. I'm really glad we got to discuss this. It's an important part of scientific history.
Me too. Thanks for sharing your knowledge. I learned a lot. Lesson 75, Giving Your Pet the Best Care.
Hey Anna, I wanted to get your thoughts on something.
Sure, what's on your mind?
Well, I'm trying to figure out the best way to care for my new puppy. As a first-time dog owner, I want to make sure I'm doing everything right.
That's so exciting. Puppies are a lot of work, but so rewarding. What kind of things are you wondering about?
I guess I'm just worried about making sure he gets the proper nutrition, exercise, and veterinary care.
Those are all really important considerations. I'm sure your puppy is in good hands with you though.
I hope so. I want to give him the best life possible. Any tips you can share based on your own experience?
Absolutely. First and foremost, make sure you're feeding a high-quality, age-appropriate dog food. That's crucial for their development.
Got it. I'll do some research to find the right one. What about exercise and playtime?
Puppies have a lot of energy, so plan for at least a couple of 15 to 20-minute play sessions per day. And make sure he gets potty breaks frequently.
Okay, that sounds manageable. And for the veterinary care side of things?
Regular checkups, vaccinations, deworming, and flea/tick prevention are all a must. Don't skimp on that.
Definitely, I want to make sure he stays happy and healthy. Thanks so much for the tips. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Let me know if you have any other questions. Caring for a new furry friend can be a learning curve, but it's so rewarding.
I'm sure it will be. I'm excited to give my pup the best life possible. Talk to you soon.
Lesson 76, A Conversation About France's Art and Landmarks.
Morning Anna, did you know France is famous for its incredible art and iconic landmarks?
Good morning, John. Yes, I've heard all about France's rich artistic heritage and stunning architecture. The Eiffel Tower is definitely one of the most famous landmarks in the world.
Absolutely, the Eiffel Tower is such an iconic symbol of France. Have you ever been there?
No, I haven't had the chance to visit Paris yet, but it's definitely on my travel bucket list. I'd love to see the Eiffel Tower in person one day.
You should definitely make a trip to Paris. The city is just full of amazing art and beautiful landmarks. The Louvre Museum alone has so many incredible works of art.
I can only imagine. The Mona Lisa must be even more impressive in real life compared to seeing it in photos. France's artistic legacy is truly remarkable.
Definitely. From the Impressionist paintings to the Gothic cathedrals, there's just so much cultural richness to explore in France. It's such a fascinating country.
You're making me want to book a trip there right away. France sounds like the perfect destination for an art and architecture lover like myself.
You should do it. I'm sure you'd have an amazing time taking in all the sights and soaking up the French culture. It's really a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
I'll have to start planning a trip soon then. Thanks for sparking my interest in visiting France. I can't wait to see those iconic landmarks in person.
My pleasure. I'm happy I could share my love for France's incredible art and architecture with you. Enjoy planning your trip.
Lesson 77, Dinner Recommendations.
Hey Anna, do you have any recommendations for a good dinner spot tonight?
Good evening. The chef's special tonight is the roasted salmon. I've heard it's absolutely delicious.
Roasted salmon, huh? That sounds right up my alley. What else is on the menu?
Well, they also have a lovely beef bourguignon that's a house specialty. And the chocolate mousse for dessert is to die for.
That all sounds so good. I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. What do you think? Should we give the salmon a try?
I think the salmon is the way to go. The chef always does an amazing job with the seafood dishes.
Alright, salmon it is then. I trust your recommendation. This is exactly the kind of indulgent, French-inspired meal I'm craving tonight.
Excellent choice. I'm sure you'll love it. The restaurant has such a cozy, intimate atmosphere as well. Perfect for a nice dinner out.
Wonderful, I can't wait. Thanks for the suggestion. This is exactly the kind of place I was hoping to find.
Happy to help. I'm sure you'll have a wonderful dinner. Enjoy the salmon and the lovely ambience.
I'm sure I will. Talk to you again soon. Bon appetit.
Lesson 78, Exceptional Service.
Good evening. How's your night going so far?
Good evening. My night is going wonderfully, thank you for asking. The service here has been exceptional.
That's great to hear. Good service can really make or break a dining experience, doesn't it?
Absolutely. The staff here have been so attentive and helpful. They really go the extra mile to ensure their guests have a fantastic time.
That's impressive. It's nice when restaurants prioritize providing that level of hospitality.
Definitely. The staff even offered to comp my dessert since there was a slight delay with my main course. Such a thoughtful gesture.
Wow, that is very kind of them. They must really value keeping their customers satisfied.
Yes, it's clear they are dedicated to delivering an exceptional dining experience. I'm really impressed.
Well, I'm glad you're enjoying your evening. It sounds like this place is the perfect spot for a nice dinner out.
I couldn't agree more. The food, the ambience, and the exceptional service, it all adds up to a wonderful night.
Wonderful. Maybe I'll have to join you here sometime soon and see for myself.
I'd be happy to recommend it to you. I think you'd really appreciate the attention to detail and commitment to their guests.
I look forward to it. Thanks for the great recommendation. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Lesson 79, A Productive Afternoon.
Good afternoon. How has your day been so far?
Good afternoon. My day has been quite productive, thank you for asking.
That's great to hear. I ended up going to the office earlier today as well.
Oh, did you get a lot accomplished? I find the afternoons are often the most focused time for me.
Definitely. I was able to knock out a few important tasks that had been on my to-do list. The quiet afternoon hours are so valuable.
Absolutely. It's amazing how much you can get done when there are fewer distractions. I'm glad you had a productive afternoon as well.
Me too. Sometimes it's nice to just buckle down and power through some work, you know?
I couldn't agree more. It's so satisfying to feel like you've really made progress on your goals.
Agreed. Well, I'm glad we both had a good, productive day. It's always nice to be able to leave the office feeling accomplished.
Definitely. It sets you up for an enjoyable evening too, doesn't it? No guilt about unfinished tasks weighing on your mind.
Exactly. I'm looking forward to a relaxing evening now. How about you, any fun plans?
Nothing too exciting, just plan to relax at home. But that sounds perfect after a busy workday.
Sounds like a great way to unwind. Well, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening.
Thank you. You as well. Enjoy your evening. Lesson 80, Baking Tips.
Good afternoon. I had a question for you. Do you have any tips for baking the perfect banana bread?
Good afternoon. As a matter of fact, I do have a few tips for baking delicious banana bread.
Great, I'd love to hear them. I tried making it the other day, but it didn't quite turn out how I was hoping.
Okay, well, first of all, make sure your bananas are nice and ripe with lots of brown spots. That's key for maximum banana flavor.
Ah, good to know. I'll have to keep an eye out for really ripe bananas next time.
Exactly. And be sure not to overmix the batter once you add the dry ingredients. That can make the bread tough.
Got it, I'll be gentle with the mixing. What about baking time and temperature? I think that's where I might have gone wrong.
Yes, the oven temp and bake time are crucial. Try baking it at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 55 to 60 minutes. Use the toothpick test to check for doneness.
Excellent, thank you so much for the tips. I really appreciate you sharing your banana bread wisdom with me.
Happy to help. Baking can be tricky, but with a few simple tricks, you'll be making perfect banana bread in no time.
I sure hope so. I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. I can't wait to put your advice to the test.
I'm sure it will turn out wonderfully. Let me know how it goes the next time you bake some, okay?
Absolutely, I'll be sure to keep you posted. Thanks again. Have a great rest of your day.
You're very welcome. Enjoy the baking. Bye for now. Lesson 81, The Puzzle of Language.
Hey Anna, have you ever noticed how fascinating the evolution of language can be?
Absolutely. Language is such a complex and ever-changing system. What aspects of it have you found most interesting?
Well, for one, I'm always amazed by the way words can take on new meanings over time. Like, did you know the word nice used to mean silly or foolish?
Wow, that's quite a shift in meaning. It just goes to show how language adapts to the needs of the people using it.
Exactly. And then there's the way different languages borrow from each other. English, for example, has so many words derived from other languages.
That's true. It's like language is this vast, interconnected web, with each tongue influencing and being influenced by the others.
Precisely. And the way regional dialects can develop within a single language, that's another fascinating aspect.
Definitely. It's amazing how a language can have so many variations, yet still maintain its core identity.
Absolutely. It's like each language is this living, breathing entity, constantly evolving to suit the needs of its speakers.
Well said. Language is truly a wonder to behold. I could discuss this topic for hours.
Me too. There's just so much depth and complexity to uncover when it comes to the way we communicate.
Definitely. Language is a window into the human experience, and I'm endlessly intrigued by it.
Couldn't agree more. It's a never-ending source of fascination, and I'm always eager to learn more.
Same here. Language is truly one of the most remarkable and captivating aspects of the human condition.
Well said. I'm glad we share this passion for the nuances and intricacies of language.
Lesson 82, the smartphone debate.
Hey Anna, did you hear about the latest smartphone models? They have better displays now.
Yes, I've been reading about the new developments. The display resolution is certainly improving, but I think the portability is still an issue.
You make a good point. The bigger screens do make the phones less portable. But the image quality is so much better now.
That's true. The high-resolution screens are great for viewing photos and videos. Though I'm not sure I'd want to carry around a really large phone.
Yeah, the balance between display size and portability is tricky. What do you think is the sweet spot?
I'd say a 6-inch screen is probably the max I'd want. Anything larger starts to feel unwieldy in my hand and pocket.
I can see that. Maybe the foldable phones will be a good compromise, big screen when you need it, compact when you don't.
Ah yes, the foldable designs are an interesting solution. Though I've heard they can be more fragile. Still, the technology is progressing rapidly.
Definitely. It will be exciting to see how the smartphone design evolves in the next few years. A lot of interesting trade-offs to consider.
Absolutely. I'm curious to see which features and form factors end up becoming the new standard. There's a lot of room for innovation.
I agree. It's going to be fun to watch the smartphone market continue to develop. Lot of interesting possibilities ahead.
Lesson 83, Getting Lost.
Hey Anna, I have a confession to make. I'm terrible at reading maps.
Oh really? I find maps quite useful, but I can see how they might be confusing for some people.
Yeah, I always end up getting more lost when I try to navigate with a map. What if I get turned around and can't figure out which way is north?
I understand the concern. Maps can be tricky if you're not used to reading them. Have you tried using a GPS app on your phone instead?
That's a good idea. The GPS might be easier for me to follow. At least it can give me turn-by-turn directions.
Exactly. The GPS can take a lot of the guesswork out of navigation. Plus, you won't have to worry about disorienting yourself with the map.
That's true. The GPS seems like a more foolproof option for me. I just hope I don't accidentally input the wrong destination.
Fair point. Double-checking the address is important. But overall, a GPS should make getting around much simpler for you.
I think you're right. I'm going to give it a try next time I need to find my way somewhere new. Hopefully it will prevent me from getting hopelessly lost.
I'm sure it will work out well. Just have confidence in the technology. GPS navigation has come a long way.
Thanks for the advice. I feel better about relying on my phone's GPS instead of paper maps.
Lesson 84, The Cow's Bell.
Hey Anna, I have a silly joke for you. Why does the cow wear a bell?
I'm not sure. Why does the cow wear a bell?
Because its horns don't work. Get it?
Oh, I see. That's a clever one. The cow's horns don't work, so it wears a bell instead.
Exactly. I thought it was a pretty good pun. Took me a while to come up with it.
I have to say, it made me chuckle. Cute play on words there.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm always on the lookout for funny little jokes like that.
You'll have to share more of your witty cow-related humor with me sometime.
You got it. I've got a whole herd of cow jokes just waiting to be told.
I look forward to it. Though I hope you don't milk them for all they're worth.
Good one. See, you're a natural at this punny banter.
What can I say, I've had lots of practice. Though I try not to be too cheesy.
You're a regular comedic cowgirl. I'm impressed.
Why, thank you. I do my best to keep things moving along.
Alright, I think that's enough cow puns for one day. But keep 'em coming.
Lesson 85, Shopping Spree.
Hey Anna, have you been out shopping for any new clothes lately?
As a matter of fact, I did go shopping yesterday. I picked up a few new items.
Oh nice, what kind of things did you get? I'm always looking to refresh my wardrobe.
Well, I found this really cute floral dress that I'm excited to wear. And some new jeans too.
Floral dresses are so nice for the spring and summer. And you can't go wrong with a good pair of jeans.
Exactly. The jeans are a classic, but the dress adds a bit more style. I'm happy with my haul.
That's great. I need to do some shopping soon too. My closet is starting to feel a bit stale.
I hear you. It's always good to mix things up. Keep an eye out for any sales or deals.
Good tip. I'll have to check out the local stores and see what they've got. Maybe I'll find some inspiration.
Definitely. Shopping can be fun, but it's also smart to keep an eye on your budget.
That's true. Gotta balance looking good with not breaking the bank, right?
Absolutely. Quality over quantity is a good motto when it comes to clothes shopping.
Wise words. I'll keep that in mind when I'm out hitting the stores. Thanks for the advice.
Happy to help. Let me know if you find any good deals or cool new outfits.
Will do. I'm sure I'll have some new duds to show off before long.
Lesson 86, Finding a New Hobby.
Hey Anna, have you heard about Tom's new hobby? He's been spending a lot of time on it lately.
No, I haven't. What's his new hobby?
He started taking pottery classes. He's been really enjoying it and even started selling some of his creations.
That's great. Pottery sounds like a really interesting hobby. Do you think he'd be willing to teach me?
I'm sure he'd be happy to. He's always excited to share his new skills with others.
Wonderful. I've been wanting to try something creative like that. What about you? Do you have any hobbies you're passionate about?
Well, I've always enjoyed hiking and being outdoors. There's a beautiful trail not too far from here that I try to visit every weekend.
That sounds wonderful. I'd love to join you sometime, if you don't mind the company.
Not at all. I'd be happy to show you my favorite spots along the trail. It's a great way to relax and disconnect from the hustle and bustle of everyday life.
I can't wait. It's been too long since I've gone on a good hike. Maybe we can make a day of it and pack a picnic lunch.
Absolutely. I'll make sure to bring some of my homemade granola bars. They're perfect for a hiking snack.
Sounds delicious. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for inviting me to join you.
My pleasure. It'll be great to have someone to share the experience with.
Lesson 87, Discovering New Hobbies.
Hello. I heard you're interested in taking pottery classes with Tom.
Yes, I am. I'm really excited to try something new and creative.
That's great. Pottery can be a really rewarding hobby. Have you ever tried it before?
No, this will be my first time. I'm a little nervous, but mostly just eager to learn.
Don't worry, I'm sure Tom will be a great teacher. He's really passionate about it.
I hope so. I'd love to be able to make some beautiful pieces to display in my home.
I'm sure you'll do great. And who knows, maybe you'll discover a hidden talent.
That would be amazing. Do you have any hobbies you're really passionate about?
Well, as you know, I love hiking. It's my way of escaping the city and connecting with nature.
That sounds wonderful. I can't wait to join you on one of your hikes. Maybe we can even find some interesting rocks or plants along the way.
Absolutely. There's always something new to discover on the trail. It's one of the things I love most about it.
I'm really looking forward to it. It'll be a nice change of pace from my usual routine.
I think you'll really enjoy it. Fresh air, beautiful scenery, and a chance to clear your mind.
Sounds perfect. Thanks for inviting me. I can't wait to try out my new hobby and explore yours.
My pleasure. It'll be great to have you along for the adventure.
Lesson 88, Discussing Current Events.
Hey, did you see the news about the big protest downtown?
Yes, I did. It's been all over the headlines. What do you think about it?
Well, it's certainly a complex issue. I've seen some coverage, but I'm still trying to understand all the details.
From what I've gathered, it's a protest against the proposed changes to the city's public transportation system.
Ah, I see. That makes sense. I can understand why people would be concerned about that.
Exactly. Many feel the changes will negatively impact lower-income residents who rely on public transit.
That's a good point. It's important to consider the impact on all members of the community.
Absolutely. Have you formed any opinions on the matter, or are you still gathering information?
I'm still trying to get a more well-rounded understanding of the situation. It's a sensitive topic, and I want to make sure I'm informed before forming any strong views.
That's a wise approach. It's easy to get swept up in the emotion of these kinds of issues, but it's important to look at it objectively.
Definitely. I appreciate you sharing your perspective. It's helpful to hear different points of view.
Of course. I'm always happy to discuss current events and hear your thoughts as well.
Great. I'll be sure to keep an eye on how this situation develops. It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out.
Agreed. It's definitely a story worth following. Let me know if you have any other thoughts on it.
Will do. Thanks for the chat. It's always good to stay informed on what's happening in the world.
Lesson 89, Exploring Nature.
Morning. Are you ready for our hike today?
Absolutely. I've been looking forward to it all week. The weather looks perfect.
Excellent. I think you'll really enjoy this trail. It's one of my favorites.
I can't wait to see it. From what you've described, it sounds absolutely beautiful.
The best part is the pond we'll come across. The rushes around it are so serene.
Rushes? I don't think I've ever seen those up close before. What do they look like?
They're these tall, slender plants that grow in the shallow water. Almost like tall grass.
That sounds lovely. I can just imagine how peaceful it will be to take it all in.
It really is. And the pond itself is only about 3 feet deep, so the water is crystal clear.
Wow, that must make for some amazing reflections. I can't wait to see it for myself.
You're going to love it. And I have a feeling you might even spot some interesting wildlife along the way.
Oh, I hope so. I'd love to see some birds or maybe even a deer or two.
With any luck, we'll get to see all sorts of creatures. Just keep your eyes peeled.
I certainly will. This is going to be such a wonderful adventure. Thank you again for inviting me.
My pleasure. I'm happy to share one of my favorite places with you.
Lesson 90, Finding a Reliable Mechanic.
Hey Anna, do you know of any good mechanics in the area? My car has been acting up lately.
Let me think. I had a great experience with a mechanic not too far from here. I'd be happy to recommend him.
That would be fantastic. I've been trying to find a reliable place to take my car, but I'm not having much luck.
Well, this guy is definitely someone I can vouch for. His name is Mark and his shop is called Reliable Autos.
Reliable Autos, got it. And you said he's close by? That would be really convenient.
Yes, it's just a few blocks down the road from my place. I can give you the exact address if you'd like.
That would be great, thanks. I'm hoping he can take a look at it soon. This issue with my car has been driving me crazy.
I'm sure he'll be able to get to the bottom of it. Mark is always professional and honest about the work he does.
That's exactly what I'm looking for. I just want someone I can trust to fix my car right the first time.
You can definitely count on Mark for that. Here, let me jot down the address for you.
Awesome, I really appreciate it. I'll head over there as soon as I can to get this taken care of.
No problem at all. I hope Mark can get your car running smoothly again. Just let me know if you need anything else.
Will do. Thanks again for the recommendation, it's a huge help.
Happy to assist. I'm sure you'll be back on the road in no time. Lesson 91, Exploring the Iconic Landmarks of London.
Hey Anna, have you ever been to the iconic Big Ben in London?
No, I haven't had the chance to visit it yet. I've heard it's an impressive landmark.
It really is. Did you know that Big Ben was formerly used as a prison?
Wow, I didn't know that. It's fascinating how historical landmarks can have such interesting backstories.
Exactly. And the Tower of London is another iconic landmark in the city. It's had a lot of history as well.
I'd love to learn more about the Tower of London. What's the most interesting thing you know about it?
Well, the Tower of London was originally built as a royal residence and fortress. But over the centuries, it's also served as a prison, an armory, and a zoo.
A zoo? That's quite unexpected. I can't imagine keeping wild animals in the Tower of London.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable. Apparently, they even had a menagerie of exotic animals there at one point.
That's so intriguing. I'll have to add both Big Ben and the Tower of London to my must-visit list next time I'm in London.
Definitely, they're both must-see attractions. There's so much history and culture to explore in that city.
I can't wait to experience it for myself. Thanks for sharing all these fascinating details about London's iconic landmarks.
Anytime. I'm always happy to discuss the rich history and architecture of that amazing city.
Lesson 92, Proposing a Revised Payment Plan.
Hey Anna, I wanted to discuss something with you regarding our project budget.
Sure, what's on your mind?
Well, I've been looking over the numbers, and I think we may need to propose a revised payment plan to the client.
Oh, I see. What kind of changes were you thinking of?
I was thinking we could suggest spreading out the remaining payments over a slightly longer timeline.
That could work. What would the new timeline look like?
Well, instead of the final 2 lump sum payments, I was thinking we could divide it into 4 smaller, more manageable installments.
That sounds reasonable. It would help provide more flexibility for the client.
Exactly. I think it would be a win-win situation. It would ease their financial burden while still ensuring we get paid in full.
I agree. Let's put together a detailed proposal outlining the revised payment plan.
Sounds good. I'll work on drafting that up and we can review it together before presenting it to the client.
Perfect. I'm confident they'll appreciate the thoughtful approach.
Me too. This should help keep the project on track financially.
Definitely. Thanks for taking the initiative on this.
No problem at all. I'm glad we could find a solution that works for everyone.
Lesson 93, The Legacy of Michael Jordan.
Hey Anna, did you catch the latest news about Michael Jordan?
No, what's going on with him? I'm a big fan of his basketball career.
Well, it looks like his legacy is still very much alive and celebrated, even decades after his playing days.
That's great to hear. What has he been up to lately?
Apparently, his line of Nike-produced basketball shoes and apparel is still incredibly popular, especially from his time in the 1980s and early 1990s.
Ah yes, those iconic Air Jordan sneakers. They've become such a cultural phenomenon.
Definitely. It's amazing how his personal brand and influence have endured long after his retirement from the NBA.
Absolutely. Michael Jordan was truly a transcendent athlete who left an indelible mark on the sport.
Absolutely. His combination of skill, showmanship, and marketability made him a global superstar.
And it's fascinating to see how that legacy has continued to evolve and inspire new generations of fans and athletes.
Definitely. The fact that his Nike line is still so sought after just goes to show his lasting impact.
It's a testament to his greatness and the way he revolutionized the relationship between athletes and their brands.
Couldn't agree more. Michael Jordan's legacy is truly timeless.
I'm glad to hear his impact is still being celebrated and appreciated. He was truly one of a kind.
Absolutely. An icon in every sense of the word.
Lesson 94, Packing for the Perfect Adventure.
Hey Anna, I was wondering if you had any tips for packing for an upcoming adventure trip?
Absolutely. Packing the right gear is so important when you're going on an adventure.
Definitely. I want to make sure I have everything I need without overpacking.
Well, the key is to focus on packing versatile, multi-purpose items. And don't forget about comfort and functionality.
That makes sense. What are some essential items you would recommend?
Well, a good, comfortable backpack is a must. You want something that's durable and can carry all your essentials.
That's a great point. I'll need to find a backpack that's sturdy but also lightweight.
Exactly. And be sure to pack layers of clothing that can keep you warm and dry in changing weather conditions.
Good call. Layering is key for any adventure trip. What about other must-have items?
Well, don't forget practical things like a water bottle, snacks, a first aid kit, and any necessary electronics or chargers.
Ah yes, those practical essentials are so important. I'll have to make a comprehensive packing list.
Definitely. And remember to pack light, you don't want to be weighed down by too much stuff.
That's great advice. I want to be able to move freely and focus on enjoying the experience.
Absolutely. Packing smartly and efficiently is key for any successful adventure trip.
Thanks so much for the helpful tips. I feel much more prepared now.
Anytime. Have a wonderful time on your adventure. I can't wait to hear all about it. Lesson 95, Exploring New Culinary Horizons.
Hey Anna, I tried this amazing new restaurant the other day and I'm dying to tell you about it.
Ooh, do tell. I'm always on the lookout for new and interesting dining experiences.
It was this really unique fusion spot that combined flavors from all over the world.
Wow, that sounds right up my alley. I love getting to explore different cuisines.
Me too. This place was just incredible. They had dishes that blended Asian, Latin American, and Mediterranean influences.
That's so intriguing. What was your favorite part of the meal?
It's hard to choose, but I would say the dessert was the real standout. They had this incredible fusion of flavors that I've never tasted before.
Ooh, now you've really piqued my interest. I'll have to add this place to my list of must-try restaurants.
Definitely do it. The atmosphere was also really cool and relaxed, which complemented the adventurous menu perfectly.
That sounds like my kind of spot. I love when a restaurant really transports you to a new culinary world.
Exactly. It was such a refreshing change of pace from the typical dining experience.
I can imagine. Exploring new flavors and cultures through food is one of my favorite things to do.
Same here. It's such a great way to expand your palate and get inspired.
Absolutely. I'm really looking forward to checking out this fusion restaurant you mentioned.
Awesome, I'm sure you'll love it. Let me know what you think after you've had a chance to try it.
Will do. Thanks for the fantastic recommendation. Lesson 96, Warm and Dry Boots.
Hey Anna, I'm looking for a new pair of boots that will keep my feet warm and dry during the winter. Do you have any recommendations?
Hello John, that's a great question. I recently bought a pair of waterproof boots that have been wonderful. They have a thick insole and a sturdy sole that provides excellent traction on slippery surfaces.
That sounds perfect. What brand are they? And how much did they cost?
The brand is Kamek, and I got them for around $80 at the local outdoor store. They've really held up well in the snow and rain.
$80 is a reasonable price. I'll have to check out the Kamek brand. Do they have different styles to choose from?
Yes, Kamek has a wide range of boot styles, from ankle-high to knee-high. I went with a mid-calf boot, but they have options for different preferences and needs.
Excellent, that gives me more options to consider. Do you have any other tips for finding the right winter boots?
Absolutely. I'd recommend trying them on and walking around the store to ensure they're comfortable and provide enough support. And look for features like waterproof lining, sturdy treads, and insulation.
Great advice. I'll keep all of that in mind when I go boot shopping. Thanks for the helpful recommendations.
You're welcome. I hope you find the perfect pair of boots to keep your feet warm and dry all winter long.
Me too. I appreciate you taking the time to share your experience.
Lesson 97, Cultural Experiences Through Travel.
Hey Anna, I heard you recently went on a trip. How was it?
It was amazing. I spent a week in a small village in the countryside. It was such a great way to experience the local culture.
That sounds wonderful. What did you enjoy most about your time there?
The people were so welcoming and friendly. I was able to participate in some of their daily traditions and learn about their way of life.
That's fantastic. Immersing yourself in the local culture must have been really eye-opening.
Absolutely. I even got the chance to stay with a local family, which was such a unique experience. We shared meals together and they taught me some of their traditional crafts.
Wow, that must have been an incredible opportunity to connect with the community on a deeper level.
It really was. Traveling like this allows you to step out of your comfort zone and see the world from a different perspective.
I can imagine. It seems like a great way to learn about new cultures and meet interesting people.
Exactly. I highly recommend it if you ever get the chance. The memories and connections you make are so valuable.
I'll have to keep that in mind for my next trip. Thanks for sharing your experience. It sounds like an amazing adventure.
It was. I'm glad I could tell you all about it. Let me know if you have any other questions. Lesson 98, Commute Time and Entertainment.
Morning. I've been thinking about trying a new commute to work. How long does your commute usually take?
Good morning. My commute takes about 30 minutes each way. It's a bit longer than I'd like, but I try to make the most of it.
30 minutes each way? That's quite a bit of time spent traveling. Do you listen to music or podcasts to pass the time?
Yes, I actually use that time really productively. I've been listening to a lot of educational podcasts that help me learn new things while I'm on the go.
That's a great idea. I've been meaning to get into podcasts, but I'm not sure where to start. Do you have any recommendations?
Absolutely. I really enjoy the TED Talks Daily podcast. They have a wide range of interesting topics that are perfect for commuting.
TED Talks Daily, got it. I'll have to check that out. Do you find that listening to podcasts or music makes the time go by faster?
Definitely. It really helps the commute feel more productive and enjoyable. I find that the time flies by when I'm absorbed in a good podcast or album.
That's good to know. I'll have to try that out and see if it makes my commute more bearable.
I think you'll really enjoy it. Let me know if you need any other podcast recommendations once you start exploring them.
Will do, thanks Anna. I appreciate you sharing your commute experience and tips.
Happy to help. I hope you find a commute routine that works well for you. Lesson 99, The Waterfall in the Garden.
Hey Anna, I was walking through the park yesterday and noticed a beautiful waterfall. Do you know anything about it?
Ah yes, the waterfall in the garden. I've heard it's quite impressive. One of the gardeners told me that they can actually turn it on and off.
Really? That's fascinating. I didn't realize it was a controlled waterfall. How do they manage that?
From what I understand, there's a mechanism that allows them to control the flow of the water. Apparently, they can adjust the pressure to make the waterfall more or less dramatic.
Wow, that's really interesting. I wonder why they would want to be able to turn it on and off like that.
I imagine it's for maintenance and conservation purposes. They probably need to turn it off periodically to clean the pond or do other necessary work in the garden.
That makes sense. It's a clever way to preserve the natural beauty of the waterfall while still allowing for practical upkeep.
Exactly. And I've heard that they sometimes even use the waterfall as a focal point for special events or gatherings in the park.
That's a great idea. The sound of the flowing water must create such a peaceful and serene atmosphere.
Absolutely. I'd love to attend one of those events and experience the waterfall in action. It must be quite a sight to see.
Me too. Maybe we can plan a trip to the park together and check it out. I'm curious to see how they control the waterfall.
That sounds like a wonderful idea. Let's definitely make plans to visit the garden and witness the waterfall in all its glory. Lesson 100, Helping with Luggage.
Excuse me, could you please help me with my bags? I have quite a few and they're starting to get heavy.
Of course. Here, let me give you a hand with those. They do look like they're weighing you down.
I really appreciate it. I was trying to carry everything on my own, but I think I bit off more than I could chew.
No problem at all. I'm happy to lend a hand. Where are you headed with all this luggage?
I'm actually on my way to the airport. I'm going on a trip and this is all my stuff for the journey.
Ah, I see. Well, let's get these bags over to the check-in counter so you can get checked in and on your way.
You're a lifesaver. I don't know what I would have done without your help.
Don't worry about it. I'm glad I could be here to assist you. That's what friends are for, right?
Absolutely. I really owe you one. Let me know if there's anything I can do to return the favor.
Consider it done. Now, let's get you to your flight on time. We don't want you to miss your trip.
You're the best. I appreciate you taking the time to help me out.
Of course. Have a wonderful trip, and let me know how it goes when you get back.
Will do. Thanks again for your help. I'll see you soon.